All right, Chad. Welcome back, Chad. I think we got the wrong window put up there. No wonder everyone's leaving. Everyone just tried to leave. But man, I spent much time I spent on this thing. Look, I know the reason why it was so I guess spent hours trying to put this together. Got like a whole new image and stuff like that to go put together, and it didn't. The sound wasn't there for some reason. But yeah, it was like a brand new one, brand new song, anime version. But what else was it? Oh yeah, I put it on Twitter and I played it through there. I guess it was like something happened. I guess it didn't share correctly or something. But yeah, it's like because because stupid StreamYards, it only lets you put like a thing here that's what was it, about 200 megabytes, and that's nothing. That's just nothing at all. When I for example, when I play this, hold on, when I play this, like when I play something like that, I just crush it down to two. It was like a gig. I had to crush it down to 200 megabytes, and it sounds like it. Like, at least to me, it sounds a little crushed up. So I decided to play it through. What's it called? I decided to play it through Twitter. It didn't share the sound. Why? But anyway, I guess maybe I'll play at the end or something like that. I don't know, but uh, yeah, it's tough. It was like, man, spent all this time on that thing. I don't know, story of YouTube, I guess. Spent a bunch of time on something, lot of time on something, and then you don't really get that much back in return. It's a call producer. Hello to you. Good morning, LD. Best chat. What do you mean Musashi exposed? Musashi was the greatest. There's like a Musashi, the real life anime character behind the track. And he was pretty awesome in real life. Yeah, pretty cool fellow in real life. A lot of legends about him. Although I'm not really sure if anyone knows like when exactly he lived, because there's a lot of different stories about the guy. Like, did he take place in this battle, or on which side, and was he dead by the time actually the battle took place? Who knows? A lot of mystery about Musashi Miyamoto. Book Golem, hello to you, Book Golem. Good morning, hello to you, Book Golem. Happy Weeb Day, Weeb Day, Weeb Day. Hello to you, Musashi. Hello, Musashi. Iki Trans says Musashi used a polearm in a sword fight. I do know that legend. I do know the legend of Musashi Miyamoto with that one. I think he was supposed to have a duel, and he kind of arrived late. Like, he was really good at the psychological warfare as well. So it wasn't just pure sword skill. It was also psychological warfare. So he would arrive late. Like, he arrived late to this one in particular. And to make that guy angry, because like, how dare you be this late to a duel? And meanwhile, he was rowing, I think he was rowing to the island. And he didn't use the sword. He used like the oar or something like that. He won like immediately. This immediately won because he had a much larger range of reach and everything. It was pretty interesting. Now there was one where Musashi arrived early. I guess he says something out where, because the story goes that Musashi arrived early to this one battle, when usually he arrives late to make you angry. And he got to see these guys set up an ambush. Like, he got to see these guys were setting up an ambush for him and everything. And so he was able to counteract that because he arrived early that time. I guess he was able to suss out that, okay, maybe they're going to set up a trap for me. Oddly enough, he can be deceptive better with people, with opponents who are not deceptive. But I guess when he can kind of figure out someone might be deceptive, might kind of try to lie to him, try to, trick him a bit, then he kind of goes into action like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and arrive early. I think Chris says Hassan did a speech at Yale. Why Yale? Sadly, why would you invite Hassan anywhere? I mean, he probably got paid a bunch of money for that. Because he might be like he might be a socialist streamer or whatever, but he's not going to pass up money. Champagne socialist at its finest. Let's see. Sadly, the hissing was not from a venomous snake ready to strike. Unfortunate. How unfortunate. Putzabum says, morning, folks. It's Weeb Day. I hope anime keeps filtering out the tourist with it's one of the last bastions of creative freedom left to the indie. It certainly is. I mean, they have fought back against. I have a video on that today. Actually, they're going to fight back against the tourists and say all the Western tourists say, oh well, it's gonna. I like this, whatever it might be. I like popular anime thing, but it's a little problematic, don't you think? How about we just go in there and make a few changes? I mean, it won't be that bad. only that bad. It's just turn everyone gay and black and lesbian and all kind of stuff. I just and have a few trans characters in there, and then make them all insufferable.
Left-wing activists, they say, nice hobby that you have. It's a little bit sexist, don't you think? Maybe you better let us in to fix it. Bitch, it wasn't made for you.
There we go. Let's see. Azir. David Duckworth says there is also a manga called Vagabond. That one's about Musashi, yeah. That chronicles the life of Musashi Miyamoto. Boy Legion says, good morning and happy Weeb Day, LD. Weebs and waifus. Good morning to you, Boy Legion. Hello to you. Shadowing Trunk says, good morning. All I think I don't see a video playing, even on the phone Chrome. Well, the video was playing. I do know. I checked that out on my end. But no sound. And see. And then Vince says, okay, am I the one who's seeing? Yeah, there was no sound, unfortunately. Megathon says, good morning, Aldine, best chat. Unfortunately, can't enjoy Weeb Day today because currently in auditorium taking an anti-racism seminar. Oh, man. Oh, boy, but have fun for me. Well, that sucks, Megathon. We can make it through it all right. But have fun, I guess. And good luck to you. Anti-racism seminar. As your Lady Fastlot says, good morning, LD and Best Jet. Don't forget the anime observation log is out. Oh, nice. Also, can we watch Godzilla Zero teaser? It should be awesome. I think I do have it up. And by the way, Chad, I finished all of ReZero. It actually was pretty good. And apparently I have passed up even Stu watching ReZero. So I'm all caught up to date with the most recent episodes, I think. And like you can confirm this, right? The last episode I saw was everyone like rushing to the tower and encountering that weird sniper thing. So is that the last episode that's out currently? Because if it is, I'm all caught up. And I was like, what? That's it? we're just getting back to like a really good tense part. Like everyone's getting killed by the sniper. And I wanted Mr. Subaru to go take him out somehow. And see. All right, well, Zir. Kara, the Tolkien nerd says, hi all. Sorry to be a bit late. Had a Zoom chat with a client who could not seem to differentiate between rain and rain. But it's a big difference there. Let's see. Well, welcome, Tolkien, Kara, the Tolkien nerd. Welcome. Sega Sanshiro says he will make all the Samurai Gaijin refuse to play his glorious Sega Saturn, get isekai into a Disney live-action remix. That's a personal hell. I mean, that'd be kind of funny. Get isekai into a Disney movie. That'd be kind of funny. I got, it's like the usual scenario is I got isekai into my favorite Otome game. I got isekai into my favorite Disney movie. What if your favorite Disney movie is Lion King, but you should get still isekai as a human? Janine Schultz says, glad used to rain in their rain while in the rain. Yeah, they definitely do. Tamer Spoon 3 is a professional streamer, by the way. Absolutely. You know, that's how you know. All right, professional streamer is plagued with technical issues. If they have no technical issues whatsoever, boom, amateur. Absolutely amateur. Kind of that one episode of The Adventures of Pete and Pete, where they tried to bring in like the inspector who would inspect underwear, and he's perfect at everything. And the way they got him is by challenging him to a barbecue eating contest. And like he finishes his plate completely clean, no stains or whatever. And they're like, well, you did it wrong, because a perfect eating of wings, I think it was wings or something like that, or ribs. I think it was ribs. You have to get messy. That's just the perfect way to eat them, is getting a little bit messy with the barbecue sauce. And you didn't get a drop on you, sir. You lose because you were so clean that you ate them imperfectly, and boom, the inspector was destroyed. Because sometimes a little perfection is part of the perfection. It's a little friends. Alex Halo says, hi everyone. Hello to you, Alex Halo. Welcome. Hello to you, Dr. Crow. Dr. Crow says, good morning, LD. And Best Chat, hope you're all well. Artist finished the last character reference. Very cool. Now the artist is going to doing setting concepts for All American Red Squirrel. Awesome. Very cool indeed, Dr. Chrome. Glad to see it progressing. Pretty cool. Let's see. All right, let me check this out. Make sure this is all ready to go. All right. Cartridges, good morning, Best Chat. Happy Weeb Day, and may the villainous smile upon you. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Connor Ketchell. And happy Weeb Day to you as well. The Facet says, speaking of duels, do you know the story of how Abraham Lincoln outsmarted the man who tried to murder him legally with a duel challenge? It's hilarious. didn't know Abraham Lincoln took part in any duels. What was it? What deck did he play? And see, Alex Halo says, "Hey, yes, LD. Hello to you, Alex Halo. Good morning. Good morning. The new ReZero season has started already. Okay, so it's, okay, so it's coming out now. All right, because I noticed the release date was like this month. The last one of the episodes was like this. It came out this month, so that makes sense. Okay, so I am all caught up. Let's see. Shadow McDonald says LD missed my Superman Day announcement. It's the anniversary of comics #1, Action Comics #1, the debut Superman and Lois Lane. Very wait, that's the most legendary comic ever because it kind of was the day that superheroes were born, essentially. Alex Halo 10 cheers says, and Kingdom Hearts Sora turns into a lion in the Lion King world. Yeah, but I know that's kind of what might happen, or probably will happen if you say got isekai'd into like the world of Lion King. But what if you got isekai'd as a human? It's like, oh man, I'm in the world of Lion King, but I'm a human. Like, I can't really listen to any animals or take part in any of the stories. But I am in that world. There's Simba over there. Let's see. There's a neighborhood snitch in Japan. Let's have. Is that another one? Is that another anime series? Let's see. Timber Spoon 3 says just make MC a furry. Libra Wolf says Weeb Day, everyone. Weeb Day, Weeb Day, Weeb Day. Hello to Libra Wolf. All right, chat. All right. Let's get down to business, shall we? Where's this? Make sure this is good to go. And all right, chat. Got a couple of before we get started. Here we go, chat. Here we go. So when your bro pulls up with this team, right? with all these Pokemon, including Vaporeon, you know what's going to happen.
I know what kind of man you are.
I know what kind of man you are. Let's see. I just finished that one. It's pretty good. I want a second season to be already there because one of my favorite characters. It ends with one of my favorite characters getting just absolutely destroyed, and I want to see what happens afterwards. There we go. I mean, including death. So I want to see what happens afterwards. All right, chat. All right, but I got some interesting news here. Here is someone has run this down, and I think this is technically Weeb related because it did take place in Korea, I think. So here's a little summary for those of you who missed out on the entire saga. Johnny Somali has been found guilty of all charges in South Korea and has been sentenced to prison with labor. So here we go, chat. The story is insane. But here's a little rundown. Let's see. American streamer goes to South Korea to do content like a lunatic. Dances on a memorial with for World War II sex slaves. Plays North Korean propaganda on the subway. Where do you get a hold of that? Throws ramen at the store owner like a psychopath. Why would you do that? The country puts a. Did he even get that much money from all this? Like, did Johnny Somali get that much money from doing all these crazy things? Like, I've seen some of these IRL streamers. Like, as I can tell, that I'm not sure how many of these guys get really big donations. They kind of just get like donations through their text-to-speech stuff to like say racist things or whatever to get the streamer in trouble or into a confrontation. And it's like, oh yeah, here's like $2 to get to get you in a confrontation with some people. And I think someone who kind of went through it, and Johnny Somali only makes like maybe a couple of hundred. Like, I'm not really sure he makes that much money doing this. And see, the country puts a bounty on his location. A former Korean Navy SEAL finds him and knocks him out cold on live stream. He gets arrested, charged with 8 counts, including deepfake sexual violent crimes. Shows up to his first court date on an hour late. Why would you do that? Hungover in a MAGA hat. Why? Calls South Korea a us vassal state in open court. Prosecution asks for 3 years hard labor. his mom files, but it's not probably not a really good idea to like start being confrontational in court. Like you're in court, you're going to be sentenced to prison. Like what are you doing? You think if you show up like a MAGA hat and everything that what was he hoping to have happen? Like this reached President Trump, and Trump is like, "Oh, you better let Somali go. Yeah, I'm better drop all charges, bring him back home. Come on, bring him back." I don't think so. Not in this case, because he's not there for like as a prisoner in terms of like a war prisoner. He wasn't kidnapped by South Korea. He legitimately broke the law and is now being sentenced there. It's his mom files a petition begging the judge for leniency. Like it's not a minor crime. Like he did some horrible things. It was not like a in terms of destruction, but you just defaced a monument that was meant to respect those who suffered in World War II. That sort of thing. Like, come on. It's words before sentencing. I haven't done anything to offend anyone during these proceedings, which shows I learned my lesson. I mean, you wore wore a MAGA hat trying to get President Trump involved. You said that South Korea was a like a vassal state and everything, just insulting everybody. Like, yeah, they're not going to be very lenient on you. Like the whole thing with the whole free speech thing. Like, oh, I didn't say anything offensive. Yeah, you did. You did in Korea. You did in these other countries. Not every country is as free speech as America is. Judge sends him anyway, has him handcuffed in a courtroom on the spot. And when he finally gets deported back to America, he has to register as a sex offender. See, they tagged him with this in South Korea, so now he's like legally a sex offender. So there you go, chat. A little rundown of the saga of Johnny Somali. Normal Manly to 5. Chat says, the golden rule of going to court, Stefu, and let the lawyers talk. That is, in fact, the golden rule. Do not think that you're better than your lawyer or anything like that. They probably have a little bit of better understanding than you do on the court case. Know exactly how to talk to the judge and speak to the judge. Be as respectful as possible. Look remorseful, and then maybe the judge will be lenient on you. It does matter. It's like the whole entire facts of the case matter too, but also your behavior. Like if the judge sees your crimes and then looks at you and kind of susses out that, oh, okay, you feel bad about it, maybe you're not going to do it again, he's probably going to be lenient on you. But if you're in there making a big show, not showing an ounce of remorse, it's like, okay, to the highest punishment possible. And see. All right, chat. All right. But there we go. Just a little rundown of that insane saga. But here we go, chat. Here we go. Let's get this one down here. All right. I found this one. I found this little video I think you might enjoy. It's very short, so it won't take up too much of our time. So it's called Death Note, but L and Light are the dumbest men alive. And I kind of want to see how this goes because I'm not sure how. I want to see how much it differs, right, from the regular show.
Yagami, son of Soichiro Yagami, chief of the MPA.
Who the hell is this guy? Should I ignore him?
I have some information concerning the Kira case that I'd like to share with you.
Why is he talking to me like that? Have the police figured out that I'm Kira? All right. Tell me, what is it?
I want to tell you that I'm gay. Just kidding. I want to tell you that I'm L.
Is this guy really L? Maybe he's here because I'm Kira. I have to stay calm.
It doesn't really seem too much different except L's like, I'm gay. Actually, I'm just kidding.
Are you really L? Because L wouldn't reveal himself so easily to Kira.
All right. Gotcha. Oh man, slipped up there.
Because L wouldn't reveal himself so easily to Kira.
What?
Nothing. Let's talk about this Kira case in a cafe.
After investigating all the details in the Kira case, I finally figured out who the real Kira is.
There's no way they found me. He must be bluffing. So, who do you think Kira is?
The real Kira is none other than me.
What? He can't be Kira. I'm the real Kira. I ate the potato chips, not him.
It sounds weird, but the way Kira kills criminals without leaving any proof, and with such a brilliant mind, I think I'm him.
I think I'm him. you see, Light. I've uncovered all the evidence and connected all the dots, and turns out that the best candidate for Kira is me. Anyway, chat. Let's see. Let me get this ready to go. And on here, and then additional. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to update this. And there's going to be one more stream up for grabs here if we make it to $500 all the way together. And we are currently at 416 chat. Not only will this get us to Pillarman if we reach 500 today, but we will get an additional stream, and the topic of the stream will be your choice, chat. So give me some ideas, give me some topics you might want to go over, and maybe we'll put to a vote a little bit later, and then we'll see, chat. We will see what additional stream we will undergo. So this is kind of like, it's not the Amazing Digital Circus one. The Amazing Digital Circus will happen, and then we'll also have this. Let's see. Gotta get your links for 21 month support. Have you seen Sailor Moon or Bridge parody? You mean the one from Toonami? I've seen the first one. I've seen the first one, not the second one yet.
So I concluded that I am Kira.
No, there's no way you're Kira.
Why not? His brilliance is the same as mine.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't be Kira.
Why not?
Because
I'm Kira.
he's gay.
But I'm not gay.
Exactly. That's why you're not Kira.
How exactly did you arrive at that conclusion?
Wait,
Yeah, how'd you get there?
did I just fall into a trap? Damn it. What do I do?
So you can't even explain yourself. Looks like I win. Based on the entire Kira investigation and everything I've observed, I'm closing the case. I finally found Kira.
And see, Dora Man looks at the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. And see, have you seen the video Death Note? But they are ordering fast food. Pretty good. Not yet. Not yet, but this is pretty hilarious.
Police! Arrest me! I am Kira.
Wait, is this how I win? But maybe he is
It's like some next level play here. So you know what? I'm Kira, and I'm going to call the cops on myself, and then and then that I'm going to play. It's actually pretty smart because the idea here is that Kira is incredibly egotistical. This probably should have been if L was really smart, right? This probably should have been his go-to move. This exploit the obvious ego of Kira, right? And he's like I mean, obviously, like Kira is a character who's what we know about him. Like, if you didn't know, it's Light, right? What is exposed to the world. The personality of Kira is it's a kid, like a young kid that's how he sussed it out. It's a kid from high school or something like that who has like a more of a black and white view of reality and is egotistical because he's like, I'm going to be the god of this new world. That's pretty apparent. So. That's your go in, right? So that's your weakness you can exploit is the ego. So this move of like, oh yeah, we capture this other guy. Like reality wouldn't be it's me, I'm Kira. The reality would probably be we found this other guy who's obviously not Kira, but the real Kira would feel insulted, right? If that guy was given all the credit of Kira, right? That's kind of how it would be, and then the vision of Kira would just fall, right? Like, oh, that's what he looks like. Oh, it was like this random bum on the street. How did he do it? But yeah, then that would cause like Kira to do something rash, right? Because realistically, logically, he should let this guy go to jail for him, but egotistically, he can't. Like, there's no way. I can't let this guy take the rap for all of Kira's murders because he's a buffoon. Can't do it. That would have been such a smart move for L to do, is to exploit Kira's ego, but he usually doesn't do it as much. He spends more of his time like checking out like what the logical moves are, like this okay, this is how he did it. He's probably going to be here, and what he's going to be thinking. But actually exploiting the ego, I don't remember L doing that really at all. Like not really at all. Like, as I said, I can see the prosecutor. I see this is a precursor to Columbo solving Death Note. I still like Columbo better though. Yeah, Columbo is way better. Like Columbo would have no problem. I don't think no problem at all. And if L can suss out that it's probably going to be Light Yagami, Columbo has this clean for sure. Look, Columbo has gone up against literal geniuses. Like he's not going to be by far not the first one. The only thing that Columbo might have trouble with is the magic, because Columbo tends to go off of like real world stuff and logical connections. So the whole magic thing might throw him off a little bit, maybe. But altogether, Light Yagami is probably not really the best guy or the smartest guy, the most cunning guy that Columbo has ever gone up against. Columbo goes up against rich guys, the elite, and geniuses, like several geniuses. He's gone up against like a chess master, one. He's gone up against like a guy who was like the leader of a Mensa club, and won. He went up against his doctor of psychology, won. Face to face, looked him in the eye, beat him at psychology. It's crazy stuff. The Columbo's easy to underestimate, but he is a very dangerous opponent, incredibly dangerous. And Dr. Rose says, someone did a video that proves that Scooby-Doo could solve the case. That sounds hilarious, actually. Let's get to Musashi Miyamoto and CJ DeChamp, and okay. I got one more I want to show you. It's real quick. Or we'll get to CJ DeChamp real quick with the Musashi Miyamoto thing. But this one is pretty funny. It's only a minute long.
Characters die in your series.
Am I from a film series?
No. But there are films
Okay.
that have this character in it.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone would say this character is known for being from films.
I don't know why I keep going back to anime. That was a mistake. Am I Jesus?
Am I Jesus? Oh, here we go. That's a good question.
What series?
Passion of the Christ.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I thought we did an Easter curveball. I don't fucking know.
No, but in some countries, your character is kind of depicted as if they were Jesus.
That's a big clue. Check this out.
That may have really helped me. Am I Goku?
That's all you need. All right. But in some countries, this character is depicted as if he were Jesus. Yeah, I'm Goku.
I mean, you get that.
Of all the characters in the entirety of existence, this character is seen in some countries as Jesus. Well, I'm Goku, obviously.
Jesus thing really pushed me over.
So I thought that would throw you off.
No, it really helped me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious. So explain what that means.
Felt like in like Latin America,
yes,
or some areas that
yes,
really like Goku.
All right, there we go, Chad. Now we can go over to Musashi. Hello to you, Norman Man. Alexa Fighter Chat says, and one more thing. Light sweating bullets. He's already given away too much stuff. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I do like the idea of Light versus Columbo. I think that would be pretty fun, because we think that Light going up against L is like an epic battle, but really L's like what, 25? How old is L? He's not really all that old, much older than Light is. So Columbo comes in with a ton of experience, and lots of knowledge under his belt, a lot of street smarts and everything that I'm not really sure L or Kira have. Not really sure. So let's see. Going over here. All right. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Columbo has this in the bag. As I said before, Light really isn't I'm not sure if he's the smartest or the most dangerous, outside of the whole Death Note thing. Like, he's not the most cunning of people. He kind of overthinks things, which actually leaves more clues for Columbo. Like, he's made this whole elaborate trap to burn the Death Note in case someone like finds it or something. Like, I'm pretty sure Columbo could suss this out. He's like, what the hell? No one does this. Let's see. Call of Duty says, LD, it's Goku's birthday today. Have you prayed to Goku? Is it Goku's birthday today? Was he born? April 17th. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. Probably should make a traditional Goku dinner for Goku Day. All right, chat. Well, let's get down to business. Let's get into the Musashi Miyamoto exposed, the Baki universe. Let's go. Musashi Miyamoto, I think, I'm not really sure what he was in context of Baki. I feel like he was like, I know they cloned him. That's why he's back. But he's like a lunatic. He's like a lunatic in Baki. He's just obsessed with slashing people. And I think Musashi kills Retsu, which is not very cool. Like, not cool, bro. I don't want you to kill. No one wants Retsu to die, which is unfortunate. You know, Retsu is awesome, but I think he does kill Retsu.
Then, gentlemen, today, this is going to be one of them videos where I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. What you're about to witness is 30 minutes of pure, unadulterated, nonsensical chaos that is going to make absolutely no sense and have you wondering, how the hell is even half of this shit possible? And my answer to you is, I don't know either. I'm just here to show you the most insane depiction of a real-life historical figure.
Like, I think what happened in Baki is that they're able to clone things, like, you know, bring back like old warriors or something like that, and that's how they got Pickle, the caveman guy. I think that's how they got him, and that's also how they brought back Musashi Miyamoto. They found like some DNA or something
that they put in the anime. So, without further ado, now, as we know in the world of Baki, there's a lot of absurd shit that happens in this universe that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, the last time I covered a Baki,
like most of it makes no sense.
I was talking about a butt booty naked resurrected 7-foot caveman. But I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think it could get crazier than that. I mean, what could possibly top
That's right, though. I do remember that being the case. He get then we start to for the 2. Don't worry, Retsu gets an isekai manga after this. He does. I know about it. It's actually pretty awesome. From what I've seen, I haven't read it, but I have seen like little depictions of it, like little snippets, I guess clips you could say, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I do like the idea of Retsu getting his own series, even if it's an isekai series. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But he does come back in a like an isekai manga, but he does get killed by Musashi, I'm pretty sure.
Resurrecting a primitive nigga that fought dinosaurs for fun. Well, how about resurrecting the greatest swordsman in human history? They somehow figured out a way to resurrect Musashi Miyamoto, the most legendary samurai in history. A nigga who went undefeated in duels with a whopping record.
Oh, I know that one. It's I think that's called Samurai from Cyberpunk 2077.
Of 60-0. And these are not anime numbers, these are actual real numbers. If you step to this nigga back in the feudal Japan era, there was 100% chance your ass was dying. Bro was not the dude to be fucked with. Now, how they resurrected him is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. They went to his grave and dissected his spinal tissue so they could make a clone of him. And when the clone was finally fully grown, they got this crusty ass old lady who could...
And there it is. They had the mini clone of him, and that's how they brought back Musashi Miyamoto. Like, Baki's insane. That's an insane show, and it's stupid. Like, it's pretty retarded, but I like it because of the fights and how they set everything up. But man, I don't think that he has an editor or anything, because like there's like loose plot threads. There's things that are set up to immediately just be brushed aside. Like, narratively speaking, the storyline of Baki is kind of a mess. It kind of is. It definitely needed some editor with a keen eye to help shore in all this nonsense and chaos. But overall, I do like it because of the fights and stuff, and you know, all the different battles. It's just one battle after another, and there's all these weird techniques and stuff like that. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I like it anyway.
Summon spirits of the dead to somehow summon his soul.
Samurai Jack, that's a whole new situation, because Samurai Jack was this. He wasn't just a samurai. Like, he was raised from birth. Oh, from childhood, because he had a fairly normal childhood until Aku came by. But after that, okay, he trained with like Shaolin monks. He trained with like Arabian people or whatever. You know, there's these nomads or something like that to learn how to ride horses and things. They trained with Egyptians. He trained with Robin Hood. Like, he found a Robin Hood or something and trained with him as well. That wasn't even part of their overall plan. He just kind of just ran into them. And he also trained as a samurai. But he trained in like a ninja dojo or something. Like he knew how to be a ninja too, or something like that. So he had a lot of experience in like a lot of different battle styles, and he was a master in a lot of them. So Samurai Jack, that's gonna be one tough customer to battle. Like really, he would be. Even if you are like a fellow samurai or something like that, and you know, or you at least know all the samurai techniques, like he has like so many other techniques and battle styles to hit you with. I think he even trained with Greeks. If I remember correctly, I think he even trained with some Greek battle masters, like some wrestlers and stuff, Greco-Roman wrestling. I think so. He's got a lot of know-how underneath his belt. I would say that, and also also depends on which Samurai Jack you're dealing with. Like because he is dangerous on his own, but if you're going to be putting up any of the Baki people against Samurai Jack after he's been in the feud fighting every day on the edge for 50 years, he's going to be almost impossible to beat, I think, because in the last season of Samurai Jack, it starts with him having been like wandering the future for 50 years. He just doesn't age. So along with like I'd say a decade and a half, 2 decades or so of him training with every battle master on the planet and learning almost every style of combat, the most grizzled and most epic version of Samurai Jack is also him having 50 years of actual battle experience under his belt. So that's going to be a tough guy to beat, pretty sure. So the 10 chooses in Fate, you can get 2 Musashi Miyamotos in different timelines. Main one is female, and that's Musashi Miyamoto was a guy though. In the Fate Samurai game, timeline he is a male, but also someone messed up his summoning and got one from another timeline. So like one point he was a girl. Baki's about fighting, but it's not Dragon Ball Z fighting or anything like that. It's just like it's supposed to be realistic fighting, but it's like more. I would say it's more realistic than Dragon Ball Z. I mean, one guy I imagine one guy goes, okay, I'm going to imagine, because of the fact that he kind of sussed out the idea that having more joints gives you more power. So he imagined himself having like a body full of joints, and then he was able to punch at Mach speed. Although it does destroy his hand, he is able to punch at Mach speed. That was what's his name? Dopo Orochi. Oh, Dopo Orochi's son could do that. Like Dopo Orochi's son like summoned up his imagination and imagined himself like this man out of joints. And this equals superpower punch somehow. I see, it's just ridiculous. I don't and don't get me started on how the bad guys should be dead or stay down. Like Dopo Orochi destroyed this guy's entire sternum and ribs and stuff like that, and then he was later he was just fine because he went to the hospital for a little bit. I guess it works like Pokemon. Yeah, there's some ridiculous things that happens in Baki, like some absolutely ridiculous things, but it is also very entertaining, these ridiculous things. Let's see here, chat. Make sure I got everyone all set and ready to go. Realism and Baki. I mean, it's supposed to be more realistic than Dragon Ball Z, hypothetically, because it's about grappling and it's about karate and like who's the best. What's it called? 9,000 years of Chinese love, 1,000 years of Chinese kung fu. But it's insane, absolutely insane. It's not realistic at all, really. Not really.
Then smooch the nigga to transfer his soul into the clone's body, bringing him back to life. Now, does that make a lick of sense? No. But guess what? It's Baki, so who gives a crazy stuff happens in this universe every day. This is normal at this point. Now we're
okay. Yeah, so he powers up through PP training, which is basically just having sex with his girlfriend. Because after that, he kind of levels up by 10 or something like that. Because he's having trouble with these bad guys around that time. Sleeps with his girlfriend. He wakes up the next day. Boom, steamrolls him. So so in Baki, it's affectionately called PP training.
Bro woke up and they took him out into the world. He basically had the Captain America waking up out the iceberg moment, but 10 times more brutal, because Cap was just asleep for 70. Musashi's been dead for 400 years.
Like, you really want to look at these eyes and say that, yeah, this is a good idea. We brought this guy back. Look at this guy. Look at a psycho. Absolute psycho.
So this dude thought he was on a whole different planet. This nigga was terrified of riding in a car and was in complete shock when he rode an elevator for the first time. He had no clue what the hell was going on because the world just completely changed for him. But one thing that didn't change was that in this era, niggas still loved to fight, and Musashi loved to fight. So with that being said, let's start to go through this gauntlet that this man ran. Because this dude damn near embarrassed the entire cast. So the first man to get embarrassed by Musashi was
All right, let's go. Mr. Sabu.
Mr. Sabu, and he was known as the best swordsman in modern day Japan. So his first fight was basically the strongest swordsman in history versus the strongest swordsman of today. Sukuna versus Gojo type shit. However, the way Musashi did Mr. Sabu was so absurdly ridiculous. It made all the modern day swordsmen look like a bunch of frauds walking around with butter knives. Because Musashi beat this man without even lifting a finger. You see, when dude walked up to him, he quite literally felt this nigga cut him down and kill him a total of 7 times in his mind. Dude lost the fight before it even started. He knew he was cooked, so he just dead ass gave up. And he's
Yeah, but if you don't know about Baki, one of the things about Baki is the power of imagination is one of the most powerful forces in the entire world. That's how the Dopporochi's son was able to imagine himself with a bunch of joints and able to punch at Mach speed. So yeah, the power of imagination, really big one to have in Baki. Alex had the 10 cheers, and also Musashi Miyamoto only died a few years back in Fate Samurai. So everyone in the story goes, hold up, why are you female? And she points out she is from a different timeline. And all the flashback scene with the main character, Musashi is male. That would be a pretty big question to ask. Like, how come I remember you being a dude?
Straight up admitted that if he actually went through with this fight, he would have basically just thrown his life away for nothing. So after Mr. Sabu gave up, Musashi decided to add more salt to the wound and embarrass this dude to a degree of no recovery. He asked Mr. Sabu if he could see his swords so he could inspect them. So when he gave Musashi his swords and he started to inspect them, he basically told Mr. Sabu, as expected, these swords are utter garbage, my nigga. So
your souls are garbage. just throwing that shade.
So he ends up swinging his swords, and they both end up breaking.
Man, he just broke his swords. It's just massive disrespect right there.
Because they could not withstand the sheer force of Musashi's swing. And after he broke his swords, he told him, "These cannot be called swords, young one. How do you expect these toys to kill someone when they can't even survive a simple swing?" And after bro heard that, his whole life basically just flashed in front of his eyes, because this was the moment in his life where he just straight up learned that he wasn't built for this shit. So he picked up the scraps of his broken blades and left, having to take a long walk of shame all the way back home. So after Mr. Sabu got his...
he just stepped up to Musashi, didn't he? And then surrendered because he just knew that Musashi would just annihilate him 7 ways to Sunday.
Whole life dream and sword shattered. The next character to get embarrassed was none other than the main character himself, Baki.
Baki's only number 2. That sucks.
And I'm gonna be so real, I haven't seen Baki get embarrassed like this since he fought Yujiro for the first time. Like, this nigga got done dirty. So here's how this went down. Baki ends up going over to Tokugawa's house to confront this overwhelming aura he's been feeling uneasy about. And the person with that overwhelming aura was Musashi. So when Baki finally felt this man's aura near him, he threw a Pele kick, but his leg got cut off. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this was a pretty good psych gotcha nigga ass moment, because he actually didn't get his leg cut off. It was all in his head. Musashi literally pulled up for 1 second, and his presence made him get stuck in a genjutsu. And the wildest part about it is that he still felt the pain of his leg getting cut off. So when Baki looks up from the ground, he sees Musashi standing over him and staring a hole into his soul. And the difference of what they saw when they stared at each other was just insane. When Baki looked at Musashi, he saw a mushroom cloud from a nuke.
And one thing in Baki is that the character usually is as strong as they need to be. It doesn't really matter about the training or anything. So like Baki could just be annihilated by a character in one episode, and then the next episode, because it's dramatically convenient for him to beat the guy, he just gets strong enough to beat the guy. It's just the interest is how did they do it and how do they justify it? It doesn't really justify it very well, but like, okay, it'd be cool if he just wins now.
Just pure destruction. But when Musashi looked at Baki, all he saw was free eats. It was Thanksgiving for this nigga. Nigga looked at him like a plate that you get at a family function that your grandma made. Catfish, yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. This nigga was free
Yeah, a big plate of soul food.
So they ended up going outside to run the ones. And this is where Baki just got completely embarrassed. Baki went in for a kick, but Musashi gripped his ankle and lifted him with one hand like he was playing with a toy. Then he started to grip his ankle so hard, his ankle started to shatter while he was holding him up midair. Then
That's pretty hardcore. He's a swordsman, but I mean, he's like technically speaking, he's not really just a swordsman. He's more like a warrior, right? So, his thing was, fighting with swords and weapons and stuff. But has anyone seen one versus a Crazy Samurai, 1 versus 100 or 1000, something like that? Yeah, something like that. I spoke about this a long time ago. It's an interesting movie because on the surface, it's kind of bad, but the history around it makes it kind of interesting because I think it's shot mostly in one continuous shot. At least a lot of it is, and it's not like stylized movie. It's not like a cut together scene by scene. It's just we're following around the main guy as he fights through a bunch of stuntmen, and you can tell that they're going through routines and stuff like that. You can kind of tell it's not the best quality. I do like it because of the concept and everything. It looks pretty cool. Then it's kind of like a video game. Like you fight through a bunch of guys, and it comes to like a boss, and then he fights the boss, beats the boss, and then we can continue. And it is starring Musashi Miyamoto, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool in the concept of it and how they shot it, how they trained for it, and everything. But it got stuck in like development hell because it doesn't really have a story. It's just a big long battle. And so it took years for it to come out and everything. And so at the end, when they finally got it produced, they finally got it out there. At the end, we get to see the main character who played Musashi. And he's looking way older because he is way older. He's like 10 years older because the movie was just stuck in development hell for so long. And the end is where it looks really cool because that one it's all stylized, all shot, carefully, planned out, choreographed. Where the main movie is not choreographed specifically. It's like the stuntmen were given routines and the main character was given routines to go through. So when they step in, they'll give some sort of like slight signal and then they'll go into a routine and they both go through the routine. It is kind of like a video game. It kind of is in that way. Like, okay, here's the part where he does this. So let me go ahead and counter with this. So it is very different, but overall, it's interesting. I'd say it's worth at least one watch through if you're interested in like stunt work and that kind of the martial arts training, everything you see in movies. It is pretty fascinating for that reason. But it is pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting premise, though. I do like it. It's the Carlos Batista $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Carlos Batista. Appreciate it. Let me see here. But he says there's a real story where an old Musashi drew a line in the sand and said, if you pass this line, you win, which made his opponent angry. But when he tried, Musashi's aura made him give up out of fear. So yeah, the story like that sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure if they actually happen because a lot of things surrounding Musashi Miyamoto, you're not really sure what happened or not. Like if it actually was real, but that does seem like a very Musashi Miyamoto story. Absolutely. Let's see. I like to get the 10 cheers. Also, in Fate Samurai, Musashi Miyamoto is teamed up with Samson from the Bible. That sounds insane. That sounds pretty crazy. How do you defeat that duo? It's pretty crazy. Then the writer used that fact that Japanese don't know much about the Bible in the story. So no one knew his weaknesses was cutting his hair. So because he was a Nazarite, you're not supposed to cut your hair. So he was basically almost unsolvable. Yeah, dude, if you don't know Samson's weaknesses, you're done. He has like a really easy weakness to overcome. He actually does. But if you don't know it, you're done. Because how would you like, oh, I want to cut his hair? No, you're just done. You're just done. And also, Musashi Miyamoto, even if he's not as strong as Samson, Musashi Miyamoto has a very strong strategic mind. That's kind of what brings him out as a like really unstoppable force. Is that he can see through defenses or see around people. Because I know there's a move where Musashi used, where he would have his sword at his side, and he perfected the art of taking a step and then immediately thrusting into this in the guy's neck, like just immediately, like second nature. Just 1, 2, it's just brings up his sword, stab him in the neck, and it's like you can't really see it coming. He knew exactly what to do. Like this, no one can see it. No one can see it coming when he decided to just instantly stab you in the neck, like just boom, blink of an eye. But yeah, the thing is, the whole aura thing, it might be possible. Like it could be true, because I don't know if you ever fought like a experienced person, like a really experienced person who is skilled or dangerous. You are they do keep you at basically arm's length. Like that you can't get in too close. You know that if you get so close to them, they can destroy you or fight back against you, right? So what's interesting is that could be a true story. And it's not really like I don't think it's as mystical as an aura. And, in real life, it is depicted that way in shows and stuff like that. But in reality, it's, around their arm's length, how far away they can kick. And that's kind of like the dome of their aura. And it does work. Like it is a thing. If you are a fighter, it's a thing you do keep in mind. And so if Musashi was sitting real close to the line, that it would be foolish for an experienced fighter to allow himself to get that close without being defensive. It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. Let's see your chat. Vampire Gods could Shigure from Kenichi take Musashi in a fight? I mean, she just armed a whole gang with a rice spoon. I don't know. I haven't seen that one, so I'm not really sure.
He whips him behind his back and says, "Let's find out if he'll break." So he uses Baki's body like he would swing a sword and slams him on the ground, shutting his lights out. This right here might go down as one of the most absurd moments of all time. He grabbed the main character, yes, the main character of the show, picked him up like he was a toy, and used him as a human sword to see if he could survive his swing. That is generally one of the most mind-boggling, insane things I've seen. So Baki ended up taking a pretty good long nap after this. But when he woke up, he decided that he wanted to run the ones one more time. Now, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but hey, if you've taken as many hits to the head as Baki has in his life, the CTE demons in your head just take over at some point, I guess. So Baki comes out for round 2 and immediately throws a jab at Musashi to catch him off guard. And Baki actually drops Musashi to a knee for a second, because he actually had him stunned. But he gets up and just straight up tells Baki, "Yeah, so I saw that jab coming the whole time, and I could have just dodged it, but I decided to eat it." And Baki was just completely flabbergasted at this point. This dude basically just told him to his face that I just saw your fastest attack coming, and I decided to let you hit me so you can get a little morale boost. So to end this fight, Musashi decided to take his actual fighting stance. And in this stance, 2 invisible swords showed up out of nowhere.
Imagination swords. I'm not sure how well this will work in Baki. It might kill him. I don't know.
Now, I don't know where the hell they came from, but my guess is that he just conjured them up out of his aura or some shit. So Baki goes in to attack him, but Musashi grabs his punch and stops him before he could even throw it. Then he uses his invisible mind sword to cut Baki down the middle and make his nervous system spaz out. So with one final attempt, Baki tries to hit Musashi one last time, but he blocks it with his foot and uses his punch as a bounce pad to land onto the roof. So Musashi looks at Baki on the verge of passing out and tells him, "Wow, you did impressive, little nigga, but I feel like indulging."
It's exactly what Musashi says. That's exactly how Musashi's spoken historically.
Getting more fun. Farewell, and thank you for the free meal. And when Musashi leaves, Baki just passes out and gets knocked out again. So after Musashi slumped the main character twice in the same day, the next character to get utterly embarrassed was everyone's favorite bald nigga with an eye patch, Dopo Orochi. Now the reason
Dopo Orochi, I love this guy. This guy's awesome. I like Dopo Orochi.
Dopo even knew Musashi was resurrected.
He's not the best. He gets beaten a lot, but he is pretty cool. I do like him.
Did him back in the first place was because earlier that day, Musashi was on the news for beating up like 4 cops at once, and it was all caught on security cam footage. The first dude tried to get behind him and put him in a rear naked, but this nigga grabbed his nuts and crushed them into smithereens. Look at the way he.
That shouldn't even be fair. That's not very nice. I'm sure there's other ways you could have handled that situation, Musashi, than just crushing another man's nuts. That's the low blow, literally.
Falls clutching where his testicles once were. This brother just got his manhood taken in 4K for the whole world to.
Man gets his balls crushed. Finally, I set up a GoFundMe for the damages.
See on national news. Then he walks up to the next cop. The cop tried to swing, but instantly got his baton snatched. And Musashi stares him straight in the face and slices him down the middle with his baton. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. This nigga used a baton as a sword. And look at him on the ground. The nigga's having a seizure. Then the last 2 tried to jump him, but they both got air sliced and dropped as well. Now this is what Dopo saw on the news. And being the crazy ass nigga he is, he saw that and he wanted to.
I'm not sure if he's going to bring it up, but Dopo Orochi is so insane that when he got his hand sliced off by a wire, he's like, oh, this is awesome because now I don't have to worry about all the little bones in my hand. Now I can just punch you with my stump, which is exactly what he did. He punched a guy in the face with his bloody stump because he didn't have to fear damaging his hand.
Fight him to see if he was the real deal or not. So when they stood off from one another, Tokugawa asked Dopo to introduce himself to Musashi. So Dopo decides to introduce himself by breaking shit and showing off. He started punching through cinder blocks, slicing glass bottles with his hands, and then kicking a block of wood cleanly in half. And after this, he just floated in the air and tried to orb farm as much as he possibly could before gravity finally took him. Now, after seeing that, any regular person would be impressed. But Musashi looked at him when he was finished and was like, was that supposed to be martial arts or a dance, my nigga?
Oh, man. This is insulting Dopo to his face about his martial arts. A man who spent 50 plus years dedicated to the martial arts, dedicated to karate. Let's see. Yeah, it's 10 cheers. They also keep the power scaling in Fate Samurai, where the main character starts off having trouble with normal monsters. And as you go through the story and train with rogue servants, you can fight the servants by yourself. That's pretty awesome. I like the idea of regular people being able to fight servants. That seems like a pretty cool situation to see. I like that.
What did you say, nigga? So when Dopo heard him say it was a dance, this pissed him off to the max.
And 9 times out of 10, that'd be the exact wrong thing to say to Dopo Orochi. But it's Musashi Miyamoto. I think he can take it. I think I'm pretty sure he has a chance on this one.
Musashi just flat out disrespected his craft. So they squared up against each other, and these boys were ready to throw down. So Dopo decides to attack first with a headbutt, but Musashi does one of the most disrespectful things you could ever do to a bald nigga. He palmed his head like a basketball. Like, dog. The thing that gets me the most is that he really started rubbing his chrome dome like he was polishing a bowling ball. So Dopo bags up and Musashi takes his fighting stance, where he has his air swords drawn out again. So he goes into attack and Dopo parries the first sword, but his other sword came down and ended up slicing him. And Dopo is screaming, thinking that he actually got hit. But then Musashi started laughing at him. And when Dopo finally realizes that he actually didn't get hit by a sword, Musashi was just staring at him, fist cocked back and loaded. And he told him, see, I told you, it's just all a dance, my nigga. And rams his fist into Dopo's face. Now, while he was rocked, Dopo decided to at least save some of his orb. So he stops himself and recovers into a one-handed...
Yep, that's Dopo. That's why he's awesome. Even when he gets punched in the face, he's still pretty badass.
Handstand. Like, I'll give it to bro. Even though he's getting absolutely washed in this fight, Dopo made sure this ass whooping would not result in any type of aura loss. Bro got his bald head rubbed and knew he had to make up some points. So Dopo being Dopo and letting his CTE take over, decided, you know what? I want you to get a real sword so I can fight you at your full strength. So Tokugawa gives Musashi a sword that can actually withstand the power of his swing. And this ends up leading up to one of the most absurd KOs in anime history. So Musashi kept on talking shit to Dopo, telling him, oh, you ain't no god of martial arts and all you doing is dancing and shit. So Dopo got mad and tried to rush him, but Musashi swung his sword into Dopo's face and slammed him into the ground, knocking him.
It's probably like, I'm not sure if that's the worst thing Dopo's face has taken. The reason why he has all these scars, by the way.
Oh, you ain't no god of martial arts and all you doing is dancing and shit. So Dopo got mad and tried to.
You know, he has all these scars. It's because he's got his face blown up before, and they had to put the skin back on, I guess.
Russia, but Musashi swung his sword into Dopo's face and slammed him into the ground, knocking him out cold. And he didn't even cut him. This nigga somehow held back enough strength while also putting out enough to knock a nigga out cold without the blade even splitting him open. That shit is the most absurd way to knock a nigga out. Like, this isn't even remotely possible. This nigga Dopo should have been looking like Mecha Frieza when he pulled up to Earth. Split in two right down the middle. And then this nigga wakes up after getting knocked out like, well, damn, looks like he's the real deal. Like, my brother in Christ, you should be talking to God right now. Now, the next cast member to get exposed.
Oh, no, not Retsu. Oh, here we go. Retsu really gets wrecked by Musashi Miyamoto.
Actually.
Okay, why is Retsu the next guy? Okay, we've gone through Baki and Dopo Orochi. See, this is what I mean by the pacing? Like, Baki should have really been the last guy, right? Baki should have been last. It should have been 3 other, red shirt assholes, and then we get Dopo, and then we get Retsu. Like, it should have been in this order. Okay, Dopo first, Retsu, and then Baki. It shouldn't have been Baki is second, and then Dopo, and then Retsu. It should have been Dopo, Retsu, and Baki. I don't know. And I think, was that Dopo's, like, who is this guy? Who's the guy with the wooden sword? I don't remember this guy. The guy on the way on the left here is, what's his name? I forgot what his name was, but he's like a martial artist. But he's not really all that impressive. Like, he's really good, but he's not all that impressive. Not compared to Dopo, and definitely not compared to Retsu, and definitely not compared to Baki. So it kind of feels like we're leading up to a lesser battle here. But I don't know. We'll see.
Actually,
Shibikawa. That's his name. Shibikawa. I was like, it's not Tokugawa. It's the guy. The guy who owns the ring. He's supposed to be like the descendant of the daimyo, or no, the shogun. But yeah, Shibikawa. He is a martial artist. He's actually pretty good. He's got like the old man wisdom where he can just destroy you in a few ways. But what was it? He's not really as impressive as Dopo or Retsu. Like, not even close.
Did talk to God, and that was Retsu. Now Retsu wanted to fight Musashi.
All right, here we go. Here's Retsu. He does get killed, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, as we said before, he does get his own isekai, manga. Which is pretty impressive.
Musashi, because he was bored with being a boxer due to dominating every person he fought. Also, he was tired of only being able to use his fist. So when this dude heard about Musashi, he immediately vacated his championship and said, I'm going to Japan, my nigga, because he wanted to challenge him to a fight. But not just to a regular fight. Retsu challenged this man to a fight to the death. This nigga wanted to have Mortal Kombat with Musashi. Now, I don't know why the hell you want to have a fight to the death with a samurai whose record is 60-0 in fights to the death. But hey, we all like a little stupid sometimes. Hell, I went to a Chick-fil-A one time when I was baked and asked for a burger. And I'm not kidding. This was a true story. So this fight was...
Give a burger. But technically, are chicken sandwiches from could you technically say that chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A is a burger? Like, could you call it a burger? Like, I'm not really sure. And see, Carlos Batista, thanks to the 5 super chats, is the only other real person that could match Musashi was William Marshall. Oh, right. Yeah. Who beat, yes. Carlos Batista, yes, they're gonna give you a little upgrade here in the. All right, it's a $5 super chat. I gave you a $10 super chat clip because you are a fellow fan of William Marshall. I love William Marshall. He's awesome. William Marshall's great. Who beat an entire Knights tournament by himself with the flat of his sword. William Marshall is boss. I forgot about that. Yeah, Musashi versus William Marshall. We need that death match. I need that one. It'd be awesome.
It was basically like a WWE no holds bars Extreme Rules match. Everything was legal. Swords, nunchucks, tables, ladders, chairs, you name it, you could use it. Except for guns, because that's just flat out cheating. And you know what the crazy thing is? They did this in front of a live crowd. These niggas dead ass got off of their 9 to 5 and said, hey, you want to go see a nigga die? Hell yeah, bro. Like, is that not insane to y'all? They treating this shit like the Colosseum back in the Roman Empire. But anyways, the gong goes off and combat begins. So Retsu immediately rips off his jacket, and inside of it, it was loaded with at least 100 kunai in there. So Retsu just starts to PK fire the knives at Musashi. But Musashi started to dodge every single knife and even started catching them. Then to really just show how much of a different level he was on compared to Retsu, bro decided to cut the last kunai in half. So when Retsu finally ran out of ammo, he decided that his next best move was to use his shirt as a weapon. So this man starts to swing his shirt around, and it was sending a bunch of sand, dust, and teeth into this man's face. But this is the
people like Retsu, they really learned a lot from the Death Row Inmate era. Because Death Row Inmate era, it was all about, winning at all costs. It's kind of like this is the real battle. The Death Row Inmates are all about, oh yeah, martial arts. That's dumb because you're in a ring. You have to deal with rules. You're kind of regulated to just using your fists and feet and everything. Where the Death Row Inmates were like, how about we have this contest where we try to kill each other no matter what? Like, there's no rules or anything. We can ambush them. We can poison them. You can do whatever you want. So Retsu kind of changed in that era to where he's like he got focused on the idea of death matches. So he brings weapons. He'll do some underhand stuff because in his mind now, like the honorable battle, the battle of bringing your all is the most honorable thing you can do. Despite the usual tactic is you go in no arms or anything. You're not armed. You don't hold any weapons. Or if there are weapons involved, you fight with like the same weapon or on the same ground as your enemy, as your opponent. But Retsu just brings it now. After the Death Row Inmate era saga, he just brings it at all times.
Moment where I myself realized that this dude was just built different. He let this shit fly in his face without even closing his eyes. He didn't even blink once. He just stood there and took it. Bro had a whole rock fly into his eye and he didn't even flinch. He was stone-faced the entire time. And when Retsu's attack was finally over, all he did after it was just shake everything off like nothing happened. And he called Retsu a child for throwing rocks and pebbles at him. So when Retsu was finally done spamming projectiles, Retsu decides to throw his shirt at him. And Musashi ends up cutting it in half. But this was a feint by Retsu, because after Musashi cuts the shirt, he gets clocked in the forehead by a 9-section whip and got dropped. So it seems that Retsu's plan this whole fight was to not let Musashi get close to him at all. He was going to have to zone him the entire fight, because if he let Musashi get close to him with his sword, he was a dead man. So while Retsu was swinging his whip at mock speeds, Musashi decided to mock Retsu again. He puts down his sword and lets Retsu attack him. So Retsu came in swinging, but Musashi dodged all the hits and grabbed both of the whips to make him stop and back without his weapons. Then Musashi looked at the chains and called them toys that can't kill anyone. Then decided to swing both of them like a sword and snap the chains like they were made out of wood.
That's a pretty Musashi Miyamoto thing to do.
Now this right here was just straight up demoralizing to Retsu, because he trained with that specific weapon since he was a kid, and Musashi literally picked it up for the first time, called them toys and snapped them in half. Bro just made all of his life work feel meaningless in the matter of seconds. So after Musashi did this, he did one of the cockiest things I've ever seen. He throws his sword at Retsu and says, "Why don't you give it a try? It's simple. All you gotta do is swing." So Retsu, feeling absolutely disrespected by this, decides to just smack Musashi with his sword hilt multiple times. And when he knocked him down again, he told him, I am a master of martial arts. Don't
9,000 years of Chinese kung fu. What's it called? I am the culmination of 9,000 years of Chinese martial arts.
ever approach me unarmed again. And after Retsu did this to Musashi, this is when Musashi just became an absolute dickhead. Because he just started to troll him for the rest of the fight. This nigga deadass threw his sword away, walked up to Retsu and told him, I've approached you with no weapon, Mr. Martial Artist. Ooh, what shall you do? So Retsu throws a punch at him, and Musashi catches it. But Retsu pulled out a Bianca Belair move and used his hair as a whip to smack Musashi in the face. Then he
never underestimate the power of Retsu's hair. It's actually a pretty powerful weapon. Also, I think in this era, doesn't Retsu have like a missing leg? I think he got like a knife on his leg or something like that, because I think Pickle ate it.
Kicked him as hard as he physically could to rattle his brain and drop Musashi to his knees. Now, when it looked like Retsu was coming to finish him off, Musashi grabbed his peg leg. And this is where Retsu fell into the trap. The same one Baki fell into. Musashi picked him up. This 200-pound plus nigga by the leg with one arm, swung his body back all the way and swung him again like a sword, smashing his face into the ground. Now, the most insane thing about this is that Retsu's body recovered and stood up, but he was still out cold. So Musashi had to walk up to him and grab his fist to throw him on the ground to wake him up. And right here is when you can see that Retsu was just out of it. This had...
That's pretty impressive. His body is just so trained, it is going to automatically recover, despite the fact that he's just unconscious.
No clue where he was at for a second. He was clearly concussed. And Musashi was just standing over him like, get up, little nigga. This doesn't end till one of us are dead. So when Retsu's brain finally started to function again, he gets up and starts to attack him. But now he couldn't even land a hit because Musashi started to block every single one of his strikes. So since Retsu was basically downloaded at this point, he had to try some new shit and pull something out of his bag. So he decides to take Baki's fighting stance to see if he could mix him up a little bit. But I don't think bro understood that this was not the move because Baki himself got knocked out.
This is why Baki should have been last to fight Musashi. Like, that's why. It should have been 3 other mooks, right? 3 red shirts, including Superkawa, possibly. Then Doppo, then Retsu, then finally you get to Baki. And throw in Biscuit Oliver in there. Biscuit Oliver would have been a good, like, a pre-round battle. I mean, he's really powerful and tough, but he'll be pretty good, I think, as a guy in the front. This first guy should have been like the sword guy. All right, that's fine. I forgot who he is. I think he's from I think he's also from a previous saga, but like, okay, him first, then maybe Shibakawa, and then Biscuit Oliver, right? And then we get to Doppo, then we get to Retsu, then we get to Baki. I think that should have been the roster. Not Baki second. That's ridiculous.
Not once, but twice.
Oh yeah, we should get Pickle in there. Pickle in there.
The fuck did bro think that this was gonna accomplish? So Musashi leaps at Retsu with a random sword he picked up and rams the blade right into Retsu's face. Now this is another moment where a character should be dead. Retsu's face should be split in 2 right now, but this nigga still has the ability to talk right now because he didn't cut him all the way through. So Musashi tries to finish the strike, but Retsu hits a counter and bicycle kicks Musashi in the face, laying him out on the ground. So it actually looks like Retsu did mad damage to Musashi right here. He looked absolutely stunned and was coughing up blood. So Retsu tries to finish him off with the Bruce Lee into the dragon curb stomp. But all of this was a ruse. Musashi was playing possum the entire time. He caught Retsu mid-air and wrapped the cord that was on his clothes around his neck. Then he continued to wrap up Retsu's entire body until he was wrapped up like a present. This was pure humility.
You're done. You're done there, sir. You're finished there, Mr. Retsu. Yeah. Like Retsu is a really good barometer of like who's powerful or not. He's kind of like the Worf of the show. Doppo and Retsu are really good barometers because they're both insanely powerful. Retsu especially. Like if you really want to show someone is just insanely invincible, have them beat Retsu because that guy himself is insanely invincible. According to Big the Tinctures, there was a stream last night to find the VTuber Filian, and we couldn't find her. I think she actually got deported to the Philippines for real. Just get deported. Was she here illegally?
Affiliation at its finest. And look at Retsu. He is about to start bawling his eyes out because he knows he's cooked. It's over. The whole crowd knew as well too. They was like, please, Musashi, have mercy. Please don't kill that nigga. But it was too late. Musashi picked up his blade, cut the cord loose and said, turn around, nigga. And when Retsu turned around, Musashi's blade came right down the middle. So Retsu tried to counter it like last time, but he ends up getting his peg leg cut off. And when he ended up bagging up, you knew it was over because he had a big ass line going straight down his body. Then like 2 seconds later, the wound opens and Retsu's body just explodes in blood. Now this cut actually didn't kill him because it was too shallow. And also, apparently, Retsu learned some technique that can make him survive a cut of a sword. I don't know, some straight up
I think something like Retsu would know, actually.
bullshit that the narrator's trying to gaslight me into believing in. But I guess it worked. So since Retsu is somehow still alive, he decides to prep one final move. He got down into the same feral stance that Pickle uses. So Retsu leaps at him and throws a punch, and Musashi cuts right into Retsu's fist. But Retsu planned this so Musashi's sword could get stuck in his fist. So Retsu yelled at this man and said, I got you. But Musashi looked at him with the classic, haha, you fool! He slash stepped towards Retsu, picked him up, and hit him with an attitude adjustment. Then while he was mid-air, he hit Retsu with a clean strike to the back and cut him clean straight through his body. His organs were slashed clean through and his spine
Boom. I remember this part, yeah.
was severed. And after he landed that fatal strike, Musashi turned around and said, you've done well, and leaves. This time, it was really over. That bullshit ass technique.
See, I like to say the Tinctures, there are very few living characters that can defeat or take on servants. Shuri defeating Gilgamesh by copying him. Rin tricks Medea into getting closer so she could magic enhance Punch, and Kyrie defeating Assassin by knocking him out, while in a moment of shock that Kyrie didn't have a heart Assassin could crush. Kyrie is the most edgy boy who's ever lived. Other than what's his name?
Only bail him out once, because once they started showing Retsu's backstory, you knew damn well it was a wrap. So bro fell to the
in anime, when it starts showing your backstory, there's either power up coming up or he's dead.
ground, holding his stomach and coughing up blood, and thought to himself in his last moments, damn, at least I tried. My only regret in life was not using code CJ for 10% off on gamer subs. If I trucked some of that good shit before this fight, then maybe I wouldn't be getting isekai right now.
Yeah, Retsu, idiot.
I'll make sure to use code CJ in the next life.
Fatality.
Damn it, my parlay! Not gonna lie, I was actually pretty shocked they actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu. And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got isekai into a
there he is. Isekai.
spin-off manga. So I guess we gotta give Musashi an honorary Truck-kun badge or something, cause he technically boomed a nigga so bad he got sent to another world. So after Musashi isekai to Retsu, the next dude to get cooked was this random NPC Kendo champ.
Who is that? I for a second there I thought it was like Dopo's son, but he'd never make this face, and he doesn't really use swords.
Now, after the fight with Retsu, Musashi technically did end up getting arrested for killing him, even though they couldn't hold him with handcuffs and they had to call the entire SWAT team just so they could bring him in for questioning. But the police decided not to charge Musashi. They actually wanted to make a deal with him, and the deal was to fight Japan's Kendo champion, who was this random NPC right here. And this fight lasted a whopping 10 seconds. I'm not even kidding. Musashi just casually walked up to
Technically speaking, okay, they actually did fight. He did last longer than the first guy that stepped into the ring with Musashi Miyamoto.
raised his Kendo
Because that guy didn't even fight at all.
stick and smacked him on top of the head, one-shotting him. Every single person in the room just had their jaws dropped because they couldn't believe what they just witnessed. The Kendo champion of Japan got washed in 10 seconds flat. They was all looking at this nigga after he got knocked out like,
Big Dog, you supposed to be our number one. and you play like a bum. I bet you better start doing your job.
So after the Kendo champion got one-shotted, the next nigga to get exposed was Mr. Shibukawa. Now, Shibukawa wanted to fight Musashi because he straight up tried to spin back for Retsu. This nigga walked up to Musashi after he knocked out the Kendo.
All right, let's see what Shibukawa can do. I'm not really sure if he's going to hold up too well. Not because he's old, because he doesn't really fight. He doesn't really have a really good record compared to the other two guys. Like Doppo could look awesome even when he's losing. Shibukawa, I don't know. He lost to a teapot once.
Champ and said he wanted to shake hands with him. So they shook hands. But this was a trap that Shibukawa laid out. He gripped his hand while
you don't really want to shake hands with Shibukawa. Okay, so he's like really into throws, and he's got this old man wisdom where he can just destroy you with almost nothing. It's kind of like the Kaio Emperor. It's kind of like that level, but not nearly on his level. But he does have that. I'm going to destroy you with a tiny little punch or a tiny little touch here or there. So you don't really want to shake his hand, normally speaking, like unless you're Musashi Miyamoto, I guess. But overall, he's not the best. He's not really the most exciting guy to watch fight.
Using Aikido, and it made Musashi fall to the ground. Then Shibukawa looked at him dead in the face and said, "This is for Retsu, nigga," and smashes his face into the ground. Now, this was obviously a cheap shot, but Shibukawa did not care. Bro looked at Musashi when he got up and basically told him,
"Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. Right down the block. You know where it's at. You studied my whole neighborhood. Or pull up in front of the Kmart and let's bang out and let's do it on camera. I throw my life away, you throw your life away right now. I hate you, nigga. Let's die."
So after Shibukawa
I hate you, let's die,
was done talking this shit and was ready to throw his life away, Musashi just smiled at him and was like, "All right, bet." So Musashi speed blitzed the bro in 2.5 seconds and cut him down with his air sword. Musashi was so fast, Shibukawa couldn't even react. Bro just had to stand there and take all the pain before he spazzed out. And then when Shibukawa woke up to shake hands with Musashi after the fight, Musashi just decided to mark him one last time. So he gripped his hand as hard as Shibukawa did earlier and mind cut this nigga all over his body after telling him GG's. Now that was everyone that Musashi just straight up exposed. However, there was one more.
Okay, here's the big fight, I guess. This is what was leading up to. Because of course we have to have this matchup: Musashi Miyamoto versus what's his name, Yojiro.
Character he had an interaction with, and
Yojiro Hanma.
All of y'all should know him very well. It was none other than the most disrespectful man in anime history, Yujiro.
There he is, Yujiro Hanma. The ogre. That'd be interesting. After he just wiped the floor with Baki and Doppo and killed Retsu and everything. Seeing Musashi fight Yujiro, this is gonna be the ultimate fight because Yujiro doesn't really lose.
Motherfucking Hanma, nigga. And ooh, boy, I tell you, I'm surprised the world cataclysmic event didn't happen when these two fought. Because we all know how overpowered Yujiro is in this universe. And we just witnessed how overpowered Musashi is. So the fact that the top two niggas in this verse.
So in Baki, did they Captain America? No, he was they resurrected him via cloning. Like they cloned him and then put a soul into him or something, and then now he's back.
Decided to square off is generally terrifying. I'm surprised they didn't send the government to stop these niggas. But when I really think about it, what the hell are they gonna do? I mean, hell, Yujiro literally made America his bitch. Now, this is how this confrontation went down.
For reference, Yujiro Hanma is so powerful. He can take on armies by himself. That's a pretty powerful guy. So in terms of him against Musashi, this should be pretty interesting.
Yujiro wanted to fight.
If Musashi wins, that means that Musashi Miyamoto, like from a guy from Japan, like a samurai from Japan, was strong enough to fight armies.
Musashi, because Motobe straight up said, "I don't believe that you can beat Musashi, and I will be the person to protect everyone." So Yujiro took offense to this, because even though Yujiro's not a swordsman like Motobe, Yujiro is still known as the strongest creature on Earth. So he went to Tokugawa's house to confront Musashi. Now, the way they got to start fighting was just hilarious. Musashi wanted to...
Yeah, Baki's retarded. Like, it's a retarded show, but That's really interesting.
See if Yujiro was like that or not. So he tried to air slice him while Yujiro was just drinking some sake. But this nigga did not even react. Yujiro just straight up looked at him like, nigga, did you really think that bullshit was gonna work on me? Fuck wrong with you? Eat a dick, nigga. So this man cuts the bottle cap with his finger, and the glass lands on Musashi's forehead and he starts bleeding. Then Yujiro looked at Tokugawa and told him, hey, bald nigga, fetch that nigga sword now. Fuck the foreplay. We fighting right here, right now. So they wasted little to no time. They went outside and they were ready to throw down. So Yujiro decides to make the first move. He grabs Musashi's sword with his hand and tells him, think fast, Choco Nuts. So he slaps the shit out of this nigga and sends him flying, and this motherfucker is still hanging onto the sword.
Yep, that's pretty Yujiro thing to do.
Like, look at this.
Not only is Yujiro powerful, he's also like a genius. He's also really, really, really smart. It's not just like a walking, talking the bulldozer of a man. He's also really, really intelligent. So he's really good at strategy, and I think he can like instantly learn moves, no matter how complex, fairly quickly.
This nonchalant bullshit. He farmed Aura mid-attack, and just off of the first hit, he had Musashi looking cross-eyed. So after he got hit with that face palm of doom, this is when Musashi decided to lock in. Because
yeah, like I said, it's retarded, but it's awesome. Like it's really awesome. I like all the fights are really cool. Really over the top and crazy.
He finally had a worthy challenger. So Musashi decides to go on the attack. So he tries to slice him down the middle, but he ended up cutting his leg. Then he tried to slash him again, but Yujiro hits a nasty dodge. Dude jumps like 10 feet in the air and floated there for 5 seconds. And while all this was going on, Tokugawa was watching this, and this nigga looked like he was dead ass about to nut. Bro was on the sidelines like, oh, I can't contain myself. I'm about to like, I get it, bro. We're watching legends fight right now. But like, damn, bro, pop it out. So after Tokugawa was done glazing, Musashi swung at one of Yujiro's vital points. But Yujiro somehow saw this attack coming. So he dodged to make him miss his vitals, then grabbed Musashi by the wrist and gave him a receipt for that officer that got his balls crushed. Yujiro kicks Musashi in the nuts.
Yeah, there are a lot of nut shots in Baki, like an inordinate amount.
Look at the pain this man is in. This kick to the balls by Yujiro was apparently the most pain Musashi's ever felt in his life. He said this felt worse than getting shot by an arrow or slashed by a sword. So after Musashi got hit by this, he got up and decided that Yujiro was a worthy opponent to try his secret technique on that nobody's ever seen. So Musashi gives up his swords and decides to fight barehanded. So he starts swinging on Yujiro with his bare hands and starts cutting him. Apparently, this is supposed to be the final form of his air sword attacks. And now this nigga doesn't even need swords because he is now the sword. So when Musashi ends up going in for another attack, Motobe just comes out of nowhere and
come on, what are you doing? Motobe
eats every single hit that Musashi would have landed on Yujiro. Now, obviously, since Motobe did this ended up pissing Yujiro off because he interrupted his fight. I mean, the dude was so mad, he kicked up Motobe's unconscious body and just straight up bitch slapped him. And it got to the point that Musashi had to stop Yujiro himself because Yujiro was about to kill bro. But after this, we end up learning that Motobe actually took one for the team. Because apparently, if those attacks kept on landing, Yujiro would have died.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, this technique would have actually beaten Yujiro. Not gonna lie, when I first heard it, I couldn't believe it myself. Because apparently the nigga is stronger with his bare hands than his actual swords. Now, I don't know how the hell that makes any sense, but it's Baki, so I'm not asking questions. I'm just here.
Or the guy, I forgot, the guy who like fought some bad guys in a train, and he's like a weeb or something like that. He had a samurai sword with him. I think PewDiePie covered him, or he was like on the news because he stopped like a knife attack or something. And they're like, oh yeah, how'd you do it? And he's like, oh, I had my samurai sword with me because I'm more dangerous without it than with it. It's like that nonsense
For the nonsensical chaos. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is quite possibly one of the craziest videos I've ever done. And apparently part 2 is coming out later this year. And I'm hearing people say that he's supposed to be going on a rampage. So let me know if you want to see that. And hell, I'll probably give a roundtable verdict at the end of it. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoy. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me let y'all know this right now. The day I'm finishing this up right now, I just saw Mark get literally dug in. So I might give y'all a little mini Invincible video next week. But anyways, I'm out.
Fantastic. All right. That was pretty cool. Pretty interesting. It's always interesting to go over Baki in an over-the-top way. For such an over-the-top show, of course. But let's see your chat. Let's see. Let me get to the next one. Let's go ahead and go over this, I think. How Gohan became the worst character. Oh, wait. This one. I got this one going. So good news for all of you Weebians out there. Just finished Japan is finished with anime tourists. We'll watch a few minutes of this. I don't think we have to watch the entire thing, but a few minutes I think will do.
On viral on Twitter, where a mangaka was harassed by the Twitter police and decided to delete her entire account. This is even going viral on Spanish Twitter, for example, where this tweet with 70,000 likes was, as you can see, posted in Spanish, and it reads, "The damage caused by anime tourists. Hyundai, the mangaka of Gambare Nakamura-kun, has deleted her Twitter account due to the constant harassment she suffered from those who called themselves fans of her work. They harassed a person just because the work did not adapt to their tastes and preferences. The harassment targeted a side subplot involving teacher So Otagiri and student Daiki Hirose, which some new anime viewers called creepy, despite Hyundai's prior note that it holds no romantic or sexual intent. In a heartbreaking, now deleted post on...
So go for it, Nakamura. Creator deletes X account after harassment. Harassment targets a side subplot involving teachers So Otogiri and student Akin Hirose, which some new anime viewers, the hood weebs or whatever, called creepy despite Sayunde's prior note that it holds no romantic or sexual intent. Let's see. Targeting the side plot. So it's not romantic or anything, but there was a subplot with like a teacher and a student, but there's no romantic or sexual intent. So what was wrong with it? In a heartbreaking now deleted post on April 12th, she shared her pain. Complaints left her feeling unable to please anyone. So you can't. In this situation, you can't please anybody because these are SJW leftist types and they will not be pleased by anything or anyone. They just want to see you die. That's it. That's basically the end goal of these guys. So she chose to leave before noon. Fans railed in support, decrying the bullying while urging kindness towards creators. At the incompetent or the incomplete manga and ongoing cultural anime hang in the balance. So a bunch of like hood weebs and what was it called? COVID people came in. Oh, excuse me, why is there a student and a teacher together despite having no romantic or sexual intent? They kind of put it there anyway, I guess.
On April 12th, she shared her pain. Complaints left her feeling unable to please everyone, so she chose to leave before noon. Fans rallied in support, decrying the bullying while urging kindness towards creators as the incomplete manga and ongoing Crunchyroll anime hang in the balance. And we've got Hyundai's official post here is mentioned. It reads, "I just get complaints about why the heck I draw something like this, and I don't have the ability to create something that makes everyone as happy."
It's not even like the whole thing. The whole reason why they're so angry is because it's power dynamic, and they hate the idea that a man would be in a situation where he has more power than a woman in the situation, despite it not having any romantic or sexual intent. Let's see. Fidel Nyasha said they should 10 cheers. I'm getting real tired of this shit. I think we all are.
Happy as they're expected. So there's no point in being manga anymore, is there? I thought I should at least say goodbye at the end, but they're telling me to get out of here as soon as possible, so I'm leaving before noon. Hopping over to her account, and you can see that, yeah, she has indeed deleted the whole thing. This recent incident is causing more and more Japanese people to become aware of the Western Twitter police and the modern audience types and how they love to always whine on social media, trying to look for things to cancel. That's how they spend their time, by publicly talking about how offended they are. Great life, huh? More details here reading, Go For It Nakamura creator Hyundai has deleted their X account after severe criticism online for some of the work's content, despite having cleared up months ago already that there is no ill intention from the currently criticized teacher character. We'll talk about that more in a second. Keep the teacher character in mind. The anime adaptation recently started and is currently airing.
There are no women in the series, so what are they angry about? If it's no sexual intent, no romantic implications, and it's two dudes, what's what is there to complain about? There's a complaint for no reason. That's like a regular mentor-student relationship kind of thing. At that point,
saying "Go for it, Nakamura" is a boys' love rom-com about a shy, clumsy teenage boy trying his best not to mess things up with his crush despite his nervousness. So it's a BL series, or
so it's about him going after a girl he likes. There's no like him being with the teacher.
you could say it's a gay series, and the same Western modern audience people that
Or is a teacher a girl?
always demand representation are now getting offended at a gay series and trying to cancel that. It reminds me of the other day when these people were trying to say that Kira from JJK is trans. And one of the arguments...
That's one of the things they want to pick a random character. Oh, they're trans. And then, because the idea is, well, number one, they say it's trans. They say a character's trans, and then they try to implement that into the minds. Like every woke person's chip gets switched in their brains on this point. Like, okay, this person is trans. This person is trans. And so they kind of have to rally for it, and they bully people into believing it. And so when they come out with the next one and the character is not trans, they get offended and say, oh, you're transphobic, based on conclusions they independently came up with, but was not actually ever in the show or the story or whatever. But if the main author of the series puts in a character that they want to be trans, but they don't make them trans, then suddenly the author is transphobic, and they're gonna bully the author until the author complies. Because normally in the West, they're like, oh yeah, whatever, doesn't really matter. They're trans. Stop bothering me. Stop crying. But people who want to stand their ground, like, no, this character is not trans. This character is a woman. Okay, and it's going to stay that way.
Trans activist was actually getting called out as transphobic by their own followers, the other trans activists, in which we literally saw trans activists going after each other, trying to cancel each other and calling each other trying
to cancel each other.
Transphobic. As for the current situation with Nakamura, this is certainly not the first time we've seen a Japanese mangaka or a Japanese artist harassed off Twitter. Unfortunately, it happened quite a lot during the lockdown period of like 2020 to 2022-ish. Back then, they would usually complain about skin color, though. That was their favorite thing. Oh, hey, this Japanese artist drew a character one shade lighter. Oh my gosh, I'm so offended. This is making me so angry. And it's always hilarious seeing how exceptional these Twitter police are. But unfortunately, some people overseas don't realize that these are just a bunch of people not worth listening to. Unless you're laughing at them, it's one thing. But like, deleting your art or deleting...
Don't take them seriously. They're retards. Absolute retards. And see, Alexander Ten cheers as LDBL is yaoi. So romance between two guy. One thing is complain about was Japanese classic tentacle jokes. This time used on a man. So I guess like is he in love with the teacher, or is he like in love with like another guy in class? Because the teacher and the student relationship is not romantic in any way, they said.
Account over it. You hate to see it. It's unfortunate that people put weight on it. They should just like ignore them or laugh at them. Say, oh, you're mad good. I've seen some Japanese people say stuff like that. And it's always great when they do.
Good. Yeah, Japanese need to learn to take this. Don't listen to these assholes. All right. No matter how much power they have in the West, do not listen to these jerks. They're all freaking retards who should be laughed at and gatekept out of any community they find themselves in. It's kind of what I say, that if someone comes into a conversation claiming to be a fan of something, and they always tie down every conversation to sexuality or sexual orientation or race, get them out of here. All right. They're not actual fans. They are skinwalkers. All right. Get them out of here. They're demons wearing the mask of a fan. Get them out of there. Get them on the other side of that pearly gate. All right. They do not need to be in the fandom. They're not worth listening to. They should not have any weight when it comes to voicing what the fandom wants. None at all.
But then, like in this situation, some people don't want to deal with it, and I don't blame them for that. But at the same time, like, it's a bit much to delete your whole account or to stop working.
That's the thing. That's why they have a lot of powers, because they make such a big noise and they're so annoying that most people just don't want to deal with it. And so like, oh, fine, I'll make the change. Just shut up. I'll make them trans. Just shut up. That's kind of what happens. That's what they typically try to do to you. Or like they'll do it to the company, like, oh, this person said something wrong about trans people. Fire them. And the company's like, yeah, we'll just fire them instead of threatening lawsuits or enduring lawsuits or enduring this PR disaster. We'll just fire the guy. And they let the woke people know that these companies, despite their billions of dollars, can be bullied into whatever action that the woke mob deems worthy, deems suitable. It's the Norman. They should $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Norman. Appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Let me see here we go, chat. And Norman says, overworked animator makes one coloring mistake on a character. Another overworked animator fixes mistake. Wokie's, why did you whitewash character? Yeah, I remember that being the case, where it's like a black character, but their skin is one shade lighter because they're outside now. Because all the usually the art, I guess, the people see are the character inside. So outside they get a little bit lighter because the sun is out. And that's the typical reason why they're a little bit lighter. It's kind of what happens. But they don't want to accept that. They just want to complain.
On something that you love because some performative weirdos on social media were offended. We briefly talked about the teacher being what they're mad about regarding Nakamura. And that seems to be, for example, this, where one of the students is like crushing on the teacher or something. But again, the teacher apparently doesn't reciprocate this at all. And now they're, again, making a big deal about this and harassing the mangaka over it. One comment right here even says, please remove the teacher. We are willing to cancel the massive call out. I couldn't imagine being so egotistical. Like there's one, like you're enjoying a show.
You better submit to me or else we're gonna keep calling you out. It's just a character, apparently. Like it's not really like a weird situation. This is a character.
And then like one thing bothers you and you're going to start harassing the person that made the show and like demand that they change it and like threaten them, like make implicit threats that you're going to continue the call out.
Hood readers don't care about context. They don't, not at all. But there we go, chat. It seems that the Japanese are kind of like becoming aware of this and don't really want to mess with this anymore. And none of us do. Let's get them out of here. Let's get these people out of every fandom. Out. Just out. No more. Well, let me hear their side. Doing that stuff. Just get them out of the fandom. Immediately reject what they have to say. Immediately reject anything they bring to the table, and you know who they are because it is really kind of like that whole thing from Glorious Bastards, where he puts up the 3, and then like, well, that's not the German 3. It's kind of like that, right? It's kind of like that. If they come in, if there's like a fan that comes in and starts talking about sexuality and sexual orientation and trans crap and stuff like that, and start talking about race of every conversation and oppression and crap, get them out of here. All right, they're not real. They are spies. All right, they're wearing the uniform of a fan, but they're not actual fans. All right, they're not really fans. They just came into the fandom to start changing things and making everyone gay. That's about it. That's kind of what they want to do. They want to turn everyone trans, everyone gay. They want to make everything diverse or whatever. They want to make sure that everything complies. It's not really about diversity either. It's about, can we make a change? Can we force them to change this? And if we can make them do one change, we got them. That's what their whole goal seems to be. Anyway, chat, I found this little video that you guys suggested. Can Scooby-Doo solve the Kira case? Which I find interesting. I find that an interesting prospect. Let's check it out, chat. Let's see what they have to say here. Can Scooby-Doo, in fact, solve the Kira case? That's going to be interesting.
Hey there, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Freddy or Not, where my name is Freddy and I am ready to dive into today's topic, which is if the Scooby Gang would be able to solve the Kira case from Death Note. So like and subscribe, because today we're going over all the information available to find out. In this scenario, the Scooby...
All right, I'm ready. I've always been a big Scooby-Doo fan ever since I was a kid. That's the main show I watched as a kid, was Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo. So I know all the older cases. I haven't seen the new Scooby-Doo. I have seen Scooby-Doo all the way up until like Zombie Island and the Alien one and Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost and that sort of thing. But I don't think anything after that.
Scooby Gang, also
nothing from the quirky era, I'll say.
Known as Mystery Incorporated, will be completely replacing L. So that means the world-famous detective does not exist, and instead it is Scooby and the gang.
It's really funny though if like Light learns all their names and just kills them all. Just kills every single one of them.
Gang will be tackling the case from the beginning. The win conditions for the gang will be the same as the conditions for L. They have to convict Light and prove he is Kira, and they lose if they convict him without evidence, kill Light without proving that he is Kira, or if Light kills himself before they can prove he is Kira. And of course...
Yeah, Velma holding the Death Note means she can see Ryuk. Yeah, she solves it. Okay, let's check it out. I mean, that's how Columbo did it. Kaze Dreamer says, not a bad place to stop with Scooby-Doo. These movies were great. Yeah, the movies were awesome. I loved every single one of those Scooby-Doo movies. I loved Zombie Island was awesome. They had a really cool like twist with the story. Witch's Ghost was even cool. I like Witch's Ghost. Pretty awesome. The Alien one was okay, but I still enjoyed it. Was there another one? I think that was it, because that's the main ones I remember. But they were all pretty good. I like the Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo, and the Witch's Ghost, and this UFO one. All of them pretty cool. Then I stopped after that.
If they die at the hands of light.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost had the Hex Girls, because Thorn was like a Wiccan or something. Like she was part of the blood of a witch or something like that.
Obviously. So this hypothetical would begin the same way the story of Death Note began, with a high school student named Light Yagami noticing a black notebook called the Death Note.
It's been a while since I've seen those movies, and to give you a note as to how long it's been, I had The Witch's Ghost on VHS. It's been a while.
Note outside his classroom window. Light then grabs the Death Note, a notebook which can kill with only a name and a face, and tests it out on the Shinjuku killer that was holding people hostage. After this, Light will soon accept a new ideology that the world is in need of change, and that he will bring said change by becoming the god of the new world through the killing of criminals, and become the serial killer known as Kira. Soon, people catch on to the fact that someone is delivering.
No, but I'll entertain watching 1 or 2 episodes if we get $49 more by the end of this. We could definitely do that. I think it's on HBO. I think it's on HBO or something like that, right? And see, no man, this is the $5. Shaggy isn't the real name, so he has one advantage. Right. What's his name? His name is Norbert, right? Isn't his name Norbert? It's something like that. Thank you very much, Norman. We should appreciate it.
Judgment to criminals and conspiracy theories will spread online. The international police, also known as Interpol, start to suspect something is up, and it's at this point that the super detective L would organize the police in an effort to catch Kira. But in this timeline, that never happens. Instead of L joining the fray, it's Mystery Inc. that hops on the scene. Seeing as how there were message boards about Kira hailing him as a god, it wouldn't be a stretch to assume that the gang from Coolsville will see this as an opportunity to catch a serial-killing supernatural entity and decide to take on the case. The first question is...
They're really funny. There's like this dark-looking anime, everyone wearing like drab normal suits, and then this colorful gang comes in with their mystery machine and their hippie energy. Starts throwing off Kira. Let's see. Don't do it, Litev. You can turn to Litev. Black leftists were whining about a character's skin not being dark enough. Yeah, that's what they always whine about. Someone's skin not being dark enough. And they call us man babies for saying, hey, this race swap was kind of weird. Like the one race swap, all of them, but the main race swap that gets me, that still annoys me, was they race swap Death from Sandman. Come on! Why, of all people to race swap, you had to race swap Death? Like she was supposed to be this cute, quirky Death girl with the pale skin and everything that everyone loved for decades, and she's the one you completely change. All right.
How would Mystery Inc. go about catching Kira? Now, L was kind of a psycho. He was willing to go to any lengths to catch Kira. He was even described as being slightly evil in the How to Read.
Until him says, you heard the man, he'll torture himself for $50 more. You don't have $50? Yeah, exactly. You don't have, actually now it says 46. You don't have $46?
Volume. He was also willing to sacrifice Lynd L. Taylor in an effort to test his theories and provoke Kira in a contest of pride. Mystery Inc., however, will be doing nothing of the sort. First of all, it's pretty unlikely they will have the same resources as L, so they won't be sacrificing death row inmates on live broadcasts. No, they're more likely to take a boots-on-the-ground approach, which will actually probably end up working to their advantage. L's pride caused the game of cat and mouse, which led to Light working harder to conceal...
See, they're both egotists, actually. So it might be why L didn't really contemplate exploiting Kira's ego as much as he should have. I wonder if the Scooby-Doo gang does that.
Activities and deceive the police. But if he's unaware of any investigation even occurring, his guard will be more lax. The Mystery Gang, like L...
a real-life friend, and we know... I forgot her name, but we know which person it was. It was like some goth girl, kind of like pale skin, dark hair kind of thing. So the idea of race swapping her to this, like in the show, she looks like a regular black lady. Like she doesn't really look like an aspect of death or anything. She just looks like a normal lady wearing like a black tank top and black pants. She didn't really stick out at all. And see, and Nora Man looks to find us. Pretends We stop using the Death Note for a Scooby. Would you stop using Death Note for a Scooby stack? What about 2 Scooby stacks? Well, Roke Raggy. He's gonna fight us for that thing much. A normal man. Thank you much. Yes. Let's see. Lady Fast says, not for Velma. No, I was seeing red with Ruby. I am not masochistic enough to watch Velma. Even with LD watching along. We'll see. Let's see. Orange Man says, will you watch Digital Circus if you reach? Yeah, well, that's already set in stone. We are watching Digital Circus. I coordinated with Stu. He's up for it also. If you reach Pillarman today, we're going to get an additional stream. So Digital Circus stream and another one if we get to Pillarman today. But the Digital Circus one, we're going to finish off Digital Circus, the last 2 episodes, and then we got to wait for the 3rd episode to come out in June or July or something like that. But that one's you've already earned that one. That one has already been earned. But an additional stream can pop up if we get just $46 more by the end of this stream.
Will likely head to Japan, since L, before even the Lindell Taylor murder, already knew Kira was in Japan. And if you're wondering how the Scooby Gang is going to arrive at the same conclusion, because let's face it, most of the members of the gang are not the brightest tools in the shed, you should keep in mind that most is not all. Velma is a certifiable...
Velma's probably their key in all this. I mean, they all bring something to the table, but Velma's probably like their main ace in the hole when it comes down to actual detective work.
Genius. And as strange as it might be to hear, potentially even
take a potato chip and eat it, Raggy.
More of a genius than L. L's an insane prodigy and considered one of the smartest people on Earth. And when he was only 8 years old, he prevented
I don't think that's true. I don't think he's like the smartest person on Earth.
World War III. Mello also claims his ability.
Hold on. Oh, L? I thought you meant light. Atari started to open his mouth, but stopped and closed his eyes to contain his feelings. He would accept L's every decision, and this guy writes manga. I'm pretty sure he's a comic book writer, and supports him however possible. This is a very basic prose. That was what he had resolved to do the very first time he met L at the time. Man, that is what he resolved to do to the very first time he met L at the time of the Winchester Mad bombings, when an 8-year-old L had prevented the outbreak of World War III. Yeah, very basic. Use time twice in the sentence. Where's your editor? Who approved this?
Also claims his abilities are that of 5 ordinary investigative bureaus and 7 intelligence agencies put together. On top of that, it's said that
simple arithmetic. L's ability in 2002 was the equivalent of another. Okay. Which one is this? And even intelligence agencies, and by the time he faced off against Kira, those numbers had leapt upward several more notches. This is easy to think of a reason to respect. Blah blah blah. Interesting, but yeah, this is definitely the writing of someone who writes comics or something. I think I know it's not like they wrote it in Japanese probably, but it's probably this a translation. But this level of prose. Definitely someone who's not experienced with prose writing or writes comics.
He gets smarter the older he gets. Realistically, this is going to be very hard to beat. But Velma's intelligence is not realistic in the slightest. Velma is considered one of the greatest detectives in the world renowned for her genius. And you have to keep in mind that the Scooby-Doo world is not like ours. Theirs is a world with characters from DC Comics. And Mystery Inc. are the people Batman calls.
Yeah, they kind of just meet up every once in a while. Like Batman, they team with Batman quite a bit
to help him on a case he can't solve. That's already crazy enough. And then when Wonder Woman needed a female detective, Batman recommended Velma, implying he considers her to be the world's smartest female detective. And when Talia al Ghul needed help to find her kidnapped father, and she didn't want to deal with Batman, she hunted down Velma to get her help, making it seem that Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, one of Batman's smartest enemies with a worldwide information network, considers Velma to be the second best option after Batman. The kicker on this one, though, is Tim Drake, who's considered the best detective out of the Robins, and who Batman claims has detective skills that even rival...
Is that true? I don't know anything about Tim Drake. Is Tim Drake the best one? Yeah, the best detective out of the other Robins? It kind of feels like it would be, other than Dick Grayson. I feel like Dick Grayson would be pretty good, too.
His own, But when Batman saw Velma's detective prowess, he was ready to make her the new Robin. In other words, he saw Velma's detective abilities and was willing to drop Tim Drake on the spot to have her as Robin instead. I think it's been made pretty clear here that
He's going to drop Tim Drake. I feel like he would add on an additional Robin.
Velma, at the very least, is consistently portrayed as rivaling Batman's detective ability. But what does that really mean? I just like you to keep in mind just how ludicrous Batman is. Batman is the guy who's able to outsmart Brainiac, a 12th level intellect that's smarter than all of humanity combined. Meaning that while...
Isn't Lex Luthor also a 12th level intellect? Isn't that canon?
L is like rivaling multiple bureaus. Velma is rivaling a guy who can exceed humanity. So, strange as it might seem, Miss Velma Dinkley is more than qualified to find out Light is in Japan. Especially since realistically, it's not even that hard to figure out, since he killed the Shinjuku killer, which was only broadcast in Japan. That doesn't mean this is a one-sided stomp of Velma carrying the team to victory though, because unlike L, Mystery Inc. is far more vulnerable. They really don't use an alias or anything, so at any point, Light could realistically just walk up to the members of the gang and just be like, hey, what are your last names? And they would be cooked, especially if they haven't figured out the stakes yet. Now, normally, that's what would happen if someone was pursuing Kira, but the big difference here is that Mystery Inc. will just fly to Japan and start their investigation. They won't announce they're coming for him. They will just do it. Now,
I thought so too. Like the L coming into the case, the Kira case, and coming to Japan was newsworthy because he is like the world, or one of the world's greatest detectives. He's very well renowned, even though no one knows who he is. But him going anywhere is newsworthy. So on the other hand, these are just like, I think they're like what, high school kids or whatever. I don't think they would need to have news crews and everything. And there's no like they're not going to like mess with Interpol or anything like that. That L works through. They would just go to Japan. So I'm not even sure if Kira would know if they were there until like the last minute. So this makes sense. And it's kind of what I was banking on, because the earlier I was like, yeah, their names are out there, like Velma Dinkley and everything. And so Kira would probably be able to find out the names and kill them. But their saving grace is this, that he doesn't know they're there. If anything, they could just be like regular tourists. And even if he did find out they're there, like, oh, they're just random people. They're just, random people who might try to solve the mystery. Who knows?
it should be stated, if we take Scooby-Doo from a point in their timeline where they're world famous, they get clapped frame 1. So we'll be taking them from pretty early on, probably from the days of their classic adventure.
I remember Lex was like, okay, you need to be a 12th level intellect, but he's like, that I'm overqualified.
This is because there's a big difference between Light seeing them and saying, hey, did that dog just talk? And him seeing them and saying, is that Scooby effing Doo? As for how the investigation would go, well, from the Shinjuku killer...
And see, Findle Nyashes is, they are meddling kids. Yeah, they're just meddling kids after all. Exactly.
Only being broadcast in Japan, they would already know he was there. And like L, they would probably start their investigation in Kanto, which is the most populous region of Japan. Also, Light was pretty sloppy with his killings in the early days, killing criminals only in the hours after school. And this is something Velma would absolutely notice. Throw in the fact that all the criminals were killed on broadcast, and yet the ones without their face shown was spared, it gives a pretty good starting point, with the gang immediately on the prowl for an intelligent high school student in the Kanto region of Japan who has the ability to kill people that he at the very least knows the names and faces of. So far, the gang would be encroaching on Kira, but they wouldn't really be able to put a finger on him. But when the Japanese police force caught on to the fact that Kira was killing criminals, they wanted to censor information. And with L not around, they're likely gonna do it. At this, Kira's either gonna start killing innocent people or just continue business as usual due to his access to the police database. But if this scenario plays out, the gang will have narrowed it down to an intelligent high school student with access to secure police records. And as the show presents at this point, there are only 3 real suspects. Detective Kitamura's daughter, and of course Light Yagami and his sister. And if 2 of the suspects are under the same roof, that's probably where the gang is going to start their investigation. And if you want to believe that Light wouldn't use the police records, there are still ways they could catch on to Light. For starters, Light walks around just talking to Ryuk, And Scooby-Doo, as a dog, is noted for having exceptional hearing.
Just think, Scooby. No ghostly voice will get past your keen sense of hearing.
And even that predicates that Light has his guard up around Scooby. It's very likely that Light...
Because Scooby-Doo has like dog hearing, so you can hear like a... Yeah, okay. I think they might have to go into this factor. So some people believe that dogs can see angels and ghosts and everything. Is that a factor here? Where they kind of come in and say, "Okay, Scooby-Doo can see ghosts. You can hear ghosts and everything. They can, they have the ability, hearing wise, to hear people in the afterlife or something."
We'll just yap to Ryuk, even though Scooby's right next to him, because you got to keep in mind he has no clue the dog can talk and probably wouldn't think twice about it. All this without mentioning the possibility that the gang can probably see Ryuk, as on numerous occasions, the gang have been shown to be able to see ghosts, souls, demons, all manners of supernatural entities, so it's extremely likely they'll just pull up to campus and off-rip see a giant monster following a student around.
That's true. So unlike Columbo, the Scooby Gang have experience, especially if it's post-Zombie Island and everything. They have experience dealing with supernatural entities and, the fake guys. It's always a guy in a mask or whatever. But they've also, at this point, encountered real monsters and stuff. So, yeah, they are open to the possibility of real monsters being a thing because they've encountered some. Unlike Columbo, who doesn't. He stays in the realm of reality, typically speaking. And so the idea that, he's fighting against a guy with supernatural abilities would be a whole nother level of him, and it might trip him up a little bit. But Scooby-Doo Gang, they've encountered both fake ghosts and real ghosts.
The only evidence against them even being able to do that is that they weren't able to see Deadman in one issue of Scooby-Doo Team Up. But in that very same issue...
Yes, in the regular show, but Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, and the UFO one, they're real. So it's actually real zombies. The Witch's Ghost was an actual ghost, and the UFOs were actual aliens.
They're able to see numerous other ghosts, so it really is like 100 pieces of evidence that they can see ghosts versus one comic issue in which they can't. That is also contradicted in that same issue. So it is more likely than not that Light is cooked frame one. But even discounting that possibility for a second, I do think the odds are stacked in their favor that they'll at least narrow down the options this far. And if they start tailing Light, they're going to send Scooby and Shaggy for that job. And once again, Scooby's canine hearing will probably come in clutch. But if Light does find out he's being followed, he's likely going to target Shaggy. He won't think of going after a dog. Why would he? Which would be devastating if Shaggy used his real name. Even
he doesn't. Shaggy's not his real name. That's right. His name is I forget what his actual name is, but I know his first name is like Norbert or something. That's why he calls himself Shaggy. But yeah, what if Scooby-Doo? What if can Light kill Scooby with a Death Note? I think the rules of the Death Note is human. Like you can only use it on humans. You can't really use it on dogs. Norval. That's it. Norval. That's his name. Norval Rogers. I knew it started with an N. It's like Nor something. Norbert? It's like, yeah, that's right. It's Norval. Norval Shaggy Rogers. So yeah, it isn't. So yeah, Shaggy uses an alias to sell weed.
If he confronts him, I don't see a world in which Shaggy, even if he gives up his last name Rogers, will ever identify himself as Norville.
And that's Norville Rogers.
It's Shaggy! Like nobody calls me Norval!
Kiro would end up being followed by the one member of the gang that uses an alias. But even this only happens.
It's the rule is I'm pretty sure it has to be a human. So even if Light learns Scooby's name and wrote his name in the book, even if he's like Scooby-Doo, I don't think it would work because it has to be a human. Right? It has to be a human.
Gang's usual mode of operation: breaking and entering. They wouldn't sit around for evidence. They would break into Light's house. They break into people's house and investigate literally daily. It is their MO.
Guys, do you realize how many laws we've technically broken investigating mysteries? trespassing, interfering with a crime scene, corrupting evidence, dressing up a dog as a waitress. Although, granted, that's just on the books in Idaho.
And if they do that and Freddy goes to investigate the bedroom, there is a 0% chance he is fooled by Light's drawer trick. We're talking about a trapping aficionado who's outsmarted the greatest trapsters on Earth. A man who can identify complex series of traps immediately just by looking at seemingly normal objects. And if Freddy gets his hands on the book, it's over for Light. Because at that point, they will trap him. And the Death Note...
Keep in mind, he's a man that subscribes to Trap Monthly, so he's up to date on his latest traps.
Alone should be enough to prove his guilt. It was found in his house, it's covered in his fingerprints, and has the names written of every criminal who has been killed. Light's dad especially would be willing to believe them, even if the evidence goes against his own son, since Soichiro is like the one good guy in the show, and what he cares most of all is justice. If someone other than Freddy finds the drawer, however, the book is likely burnt. And while no killings would continue, they would have failed in apprehending Kira. That being said, I know what you might be thinking. I'm probably underestimating Light here. What happens if Mystery Inc. doesn't narrow down the suspects? Well, surprisingly, things will actually get worse for Light if that happens, because at that point, Misa Amane will join the fray, and anyone who has seen Death Note is likely aware that Misa is more of a liability than anything else. When Misa joins the scene, Mystery Inc. will be able to get to her with no difficulty. I mean, she was almost caught by the regular police, and she left so much evidence against her. I can see a scenario where they send someone like Daphne to buddy up to her, and Daphne's just going to put the evidence together, and Daphne, who's a black belt, if you remember, will easily be able to apprehend Misa. And when the gang gets their hands on a Death Note, the situation's going to get pretty ugly for Kira. And Kira won't be able to use his last-ditch plan as using the...
I think the whole thing of Daphne being a black belt came from the Scooby-Doo movie, the live-action movie, where they could bring in the factor that she is a black belt. Because she was tired of being like captured and stuff all the time. So I think it's either the first movie or the second movie where we discover that Daphne has been secretly taking martial arts training.
Like Death Note hidden in his watch, because Scooby, as a Great Dane, runs at 30 miles per hour and has the bite strength to rip off arms. There is no world in which he gets away with that. His hand is getting bit. The final point I want to mention here is that even if you give Kira the benefit of the doubt...
Okay, what is the comic where Scooby-Doo's ripping off arms? That which under what context does this take place?
And he manages to kill every member of
the gang. Yeah,
because
she was played by Geller in that one, actually. So that's why she suddenly knows how to fight.
Even Shaggy, who goes by an alias, he would never be able to kill Scooby-Doo. The first rule of the Death Note specifically states, the human whose name is written in this note shall die. And Scooby is not a human.
There it is. Even he kind of comes to that conclusion.
He is immune to the Death Note. If the situation happens that the gang dies at Kira's hands, he will now have a superhuman talking dog hunting him, and there is nothing he can do about it. Even if he tries to shoot Scooby, Scooby has survived getting hit with a fireball that blew up a shack. There really isn't anything Light can do to him. And if Velma did the groundwork and narrowed down the suspects, it will only be a matter of time before Scooby and...
I think wasn't there a theory that Scooby-Doo is actually an alien or something? But in Pup Named Scooby-Doo, all right, there is backstory for Scooby that he is part of a rich family. His real name is Scoobert. Scoobert Doo. And he actually does have a rich family and like a mansion doghouse. It is underground. So unless his parents are also aliens, I'm not really sure.
Kira's reign of terror once and for all. I mean, Scooby has solved entire mysteries on his own because... Side note, every member of the gang except Daphne has done that, like even Scrappy. So Scooby will more than likely be able to catch Kira. This scenario is definitely more possible if they go up against like a late game Kira who has like fake Death Notes and convoluted plans. But all that would really do is buy Kira time because Scooby will not stop until he catches him. In the end, Mystery Inc. is more than well equipped enough to catch Kira, especially when he was starting out and was more than a little clumsy. Best case scenario, they catch Kira before he even knew he was being pursued. Worst case scenario, Kira kills every member of the gang before eventually being caught by Scooby. The final points I want to address here is Velma not believing in monsters, which likely means she wouldn't think of a supernatural answer. But while it's true she doesn't believe, every single time the gang has confronted supernatural entities, she accepts the situation immediately and continues like normal, only to later gaslight herself into denying what happened. So if she was pursuing Kira, she would first catch him, and then attribute the whole case to like some delirium caused by sleep deprivation or something. Finally, the gang have been known to work for the police, so if they ever really get stumped, they can likely join the task force, which will allow them to narrow it down to the 3 aforementioned suspects. But it will possibly expose their names to Kira, assuming they put their names in the police system, which is unlikely since they'll likely have put together the whole names and faces aspect, but it is still a possibility. Of course, even if that happens, there's a high chance Scooby clutches up, but it is still a 50-50 as to whether the book is burned during Scooby's investigation. Well, folks, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Scooby-Doo versus Light. I think that the end game might be a little weak on that one. It was like this. It's up to Scooby-Doo is like a supernatural dog that has ripped Kira to ribbons. I'm not really sure, but I don't think that'll happen. I'm pretty sure Scooby-Doo would just leave. I'm pretty sure. Even though, Kira couldn't technically stop Scooby because he's not a human. I don't know about the end game there, where if Kira won and killed the entire gang, and then Scooby goes on a John Wickian rampage of revenge, but in reverse. He killed my human. It's just a fucking human. Not to me. Not to me. Let's see. Anyways, I actually know a guy who was in the Scooby-Doo movie. He was asked at a Q&A for a different movie, why Scooby-Doo? And he said, because I like money. That's probably everyone's answer to that one. Like, why are you in the Scooby-Doo movie? Like, why take place in a Scooby-Doo live-action movie? Like, what the hell? Because I like money. That's a pretty good answer. It's a pretty reasonable answer, I think. Anyway, chat. All right. Well, it's not really any... I don't think there's any hope that we're going to get another $42 by the end of the stream. So I think we're going to go ahead and go to stream memes, chat. Stream memes. And we will get to Amazing Digital Circus later on this weekend. I think I have to coordinate with Stu. I'm betting it's going to be Saturday, but we'll see how it goes. And see, Scooby will just reset the universe again. He always does. Anyway, chat. Anyway. Let's go ahead and go to stream memes, chat. Stream memes. Oh, I forgot. I didn't go over ReZero or Gohan. But we're running out of time here. 5 minutes to get him to watch Velma. Yeah, 5 minutes to get him to watch Velma. Yeah, exactly. ReZero, by the way, is just insane. Usually I would be bothered and just annoyed by someone like Subaru. I am a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's like he's like the one guy I can kind of see, you know what? You can cry. if any main character is allowed to cry, it's Subaru. If anybody is, Subaru. We'll see, chat. Anyway, the whole video was under the assumption that Shaggy didn't use his Ultra Instinct power. Like if we have Ultra Instinct Shaggy in the mix, I'm pretty sure this win right out, like just instantly. All right, chat. Let's go to stream memes. Let's check it out, chat. All right, let's go ahead and transition over let's give the second shot. Let's give the second chance, chat. Let me see. Make sure that we got this going on here. Make sure that the volume is on this time. All right. Well. Get this thing here. Audio is on. So let's give it another shot, chat, while we transition over to stream memes.
By moonlight, my night dread, remembering the long dead. My worst day put away with key locks placed inside a locked box. I need the pain, I need the strain, I need the fire of pure desire. 'Cause I'm never free from this addiction. conviction, addicted to my misery box. I'm never free from this addiction, affliction, addicted to my misery. Cannot detox from this condition, conviction, addicted to my misery box. My reasons, my demons, he took from me. A stolen piece of memory. Took my pain, my disdain, it's not fair. Give me back my nightmare. It calls my name with burning flame. Every night it's all the same, reliving my darkest shame. 'Cause I'm never free from this addiction, affliction, addicted to my misery. I cannot detox from this condition, conviction, addicted to my misery box. I'm never free from this addiction, affliction, addicted to my misery. Cannot detox from this condition, conviction, addicted to my misery box. Now your fate is where I bled. You took the weight inside my head. Took my loss for my cross, walked my miles so that I might smile. Gave your heart, paid the price that I should pay. Now there it is, you stay forever, ever locked away. Should feel sane, should feel whole, but your pain is in my soul. 'Cause I'm still never free from this addiction, affliction. Now it's yours, but still in me. I cannot detox from this condition, conviction. You're inside my misery box. I'm still never free from this addiction, affliction. Now it's yours, but still in me. Cannot detox from this condition, conviction. You're inside my misery box. I don't deserve you. You stay true. I want to save you from my misery. You couldn't save me from my misery. I'm addicted to my misery. Addicted to my misery. Addicted to my misery box.
Hold on, chat. Hold on. Where am I? There I am. There we go. All right. Thank you much, everyone. All right. Couldn't really go to streaming because I was already sharing something. But anyway, chat. Let's go to stream memes. And thank you very much, Normal Man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for the very generous $42 donation. Very generous indeed. Here we go, chat. But thank you very much. Normal Man, give you one of these. Actually, I think it needs one of these. All right. So technically speaking, because it's Canadian, it doesn't give us quite the way there. But I'll say because of the generosity, it's close enough. It's close enough. We'll see if we can get a few of these. Some an extra stream up and going, and see if it'll be okay to EFAP some Velma. We'll see how it goes. And here we go, chat. Stream memes. We're back again with stream memes. It just gets really close though. We're just like $9 away, really. But it's close enough, I'll say. All right, make sure it's properly updated. Anyway, let me see here. All right, chat. 91. There we go. Boom. All right, here we go. Streamies. The villainouses are calling. And they made a little band, apparently. POV, the POV you never had. What's this? Am I dying? What is this POV? It really looks very sad, like you just been shot. All right, what's this? Are these Nazis, sir? Yeah, actually, yeah. That would be a cool team up. You know what? GI Robot probably would have been a pretty good asset to have in that scenario, despite the fact that they really couldn't be killed normally with bullets. I wouldn't say, not normally. I don't, because they're all vampire, like Nazi vampires. But you know, I think it'd help. Especially if you arm them up with like a bunch of holy bullets. He's not here for, but he's willing to fudge for Velma. Yeah, exactly. But here we go. Kyle Vampire God. They should $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Pillarman Awaken. I think we'll end with Pillarman then. We're almost there. I think we'll end with Pillarman. Thank you much, Kyle Vampire God. God is pretty close here. I think it's like 501 actually. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Helps quite a bit. There we go. 501 Dalmatians. All right. See, Lady Fast says LD sure likes ladies' 90s anime aesthetic. I approve. If it's Lady Midnight, exactly. I could have built the character out of that aesthetic, of that aesthetic in mind. 90s anime. 90s anime even had. That's why I have the little VHS thing on there. Like it waves like a VHS glitch. Let's see, chat. All right. What's this? Baba, why does Papa look so old next to you? Do you suck his blood to stay young like a vampire? No, sweetie, yes. Yes, she does. What is this? And see, soon to be Ohio, Upper Ohio, Lower Ohio, Future Ohio, and Cold Ohio. Ohio took over the planet. All of it's Ohio. Here we go. I put this in the server. Don't be a third-rate Douglas with a fourth-rate hygiene. Wash your hands before you play. I like to think that Kaiba has these up in Kaiba Corp's bathrooms and stuff. And everywhere in Battle City, you just never had a chance to see this. But I like to think that Kaiba puts these signs up, and these signs are canonical. What's this? Cooking is super easy. Just follow the recipe. Step 1: cut 2 slices from your loaf of bread. Yes, that's an insane level sandwich. Why must you lie to me so often? Slices. You don't slice the bread in half. You slice 2 pieces of bread. Let's see. And then he's sleeping, so you can't sleep here. What about the squirrel? Sir, please. Fine. The squirrel bribes the cop. My child is paralyzed. It may be unable to move. Oh no. What's this? Was this Hassan's speech? According to Hassan, America is the Fire Nation. Long ago, the 7 continents lived in harmony. Then everything changed when America attacked. Yeah, why? Like, I think that this having Hassan there just besmirches Yale. You lost a lot of credibility having Hassan there. Hassan is a Twitch streamer. Hassan is a Twitch streamer. He's not an intellectual of any kind or a thought leader of any kind. He's just a Twitch streamer. A demon carrying a cross. It's like Hitler hugging a black man. What? Christian is anti-Zionist? What? Let's see. Everything is men's fault. The adult toddler's guide to explaining all of her whore choices. It's pretty accurate. Simba, do you see these 2 beams of light over there? Yeah. If the purple one touches the ground, we're all fucked. This is like over there watching a Dragon Ball Z fight. We need new ways for our next anime protagonist to sent to another world. He gets summoned. He gets reincarnated. Why must it be isekai? Can it just be a regular fantasy setting? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I guess they throw me out the window, but then he gets isekai'd. Just thrown out the window by my boss and land in another world. Very based. Very based. But I was looking for B the whole time. You have to basically like that one video we saw with Light and L. It would be L would be Patrick in the situation. Like it was B the whole time. Long ago in a distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But soon a foolish samurai warrior rode up and challenged me or something. Wielding a magic sword, stepped forth to oppose me. Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and sent him to the future where my evil is law. Awesome. The invisible food. Yeah, this happened. What was it? They were fighting. In the middle of the fight, decided to like take a break, I guess. And they cooked a meal together using their imagination. And I think Yujiro made him some ramen. Some home-cooked ramen out of their imagination. Imagination. I think he said it was too salty. Like I think Baki ate some of the imagination food. It was like too salty or something. And like, how do you know? Baki is crazy. It really is retarded. But it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. Let's see. But he can't even age. I mean, like at all. Yeah, that's what happened to Samurai Jack. He just grew that stupid beard. It looks like he'll be here forever. I'm motivated by the traumas that I lived through, the pain that I endured picking the people that I love. Undiagnosed schizophrenia. I mean, might as well. He might as well have that. Let's see. And then what's this? Asking the McDonald's cashier for the Baki meal, and he hands me invisible meal. That would be accurate because they eat a lot of like fake food and stuff in there. Let's see, guys, strongest men on earth are coming. The Baki meal, it's just nothing. It's just imagination. But you still have to pay. You still have to pay the money for the meal, but the meal is nothing. Why do the Japanese people like their buns askew? I don't know. That'd be rough. Like I wouldn't go here because it's messing with OCD too much. It's like, what are you talking about? Why would you have that? Why would you do? It's like some troll came by and messed up all your pictures. It's because there are so many earthquakes and it gets misaligned. I guess that kind of explains it. Scooby-Doo, and there's a Norval. If it weren't for me, you humans would have gone extinct millennia ago. Every good idea you've ever had was actually implanted in your head by me, Norval. Are you challenging me? Now, don't challenge Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Very bad idea. It's crazy how we live in a universe where Shaggy became Purple Guy. Like, gee, I mean, is it really that unusual? Shaggy's also the killer from Scream. So it's not too bad. It's not that unusual. Like G, man, the animatronics get a bit quirky at night. Let's see, 20 years ago, you've become the very thing you swore to destroy. He's a masked villain. Let's see. Live Matthew Lillard reaction. Let's see. In fact, the only special effect was used to make Shaggy blink and breathe. He completely refused to pretend on his own. That's what happened, though. That's kind of what happened, right? In Blade. They had to do that in Blade, where they had to digitize him opening his eyes because I think something happened where he had a falling out with the director or something like that, and he's refused to act. So it was like for Blade 3 or something, and so they had to digitize his eyes opening because he just wouldn't do it. Let's see, animation. Official Ken DB Powers rankings. Look at that later. What's this? I have feelings, world, and traps and Daphne. It says, Holy Skippity Grail grants eternal toxic male riz, and it's very, very poggers. What? You can't translate Latin to English without making a few necessary changes. It's called localization, bigot. It's kind of it puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Not a dog. There it is. It was back when film theory was good. I'm pretty sure, right? Let me see the voice here. Who voices? Yep. I know it's a good film theory episode because it's Matt Pat in charge. And see. So yeah, I think that's kind of the theory that he's like that Scooby-Doo is some sort of alien or eldritch horror or something like that. But it makes sense. All right, Bucko, I'm going to be taking you in. The idea of Frank Drebin versus Light, and then Frank Drebin wins. This is a really funny idea. But first, I'll be confiscating this edgy diary of yours as evidence. Your death note. All right, I'll just write down his name on the first page so we know who know it's his. Light Yagami. There we go. And he just dies. I guess Frank Drebin accidentally killing Light, and that's it. He accidentally solved the Kira case. He kind of fixes the Kira case. Doesn't really solve it, I guess. Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. This is awful because what the hell, Shaggy? What is this? Why are you some sort of weird hippie guy with a curly mustache and a beard? This is awful. Terrible. Is there a different Shaggy? What is this nonsense? Why is like some weird like a Twitch streamer guy who complains about Trump? What the hell? Okay, I have this one. Actually pretty good. This all feels familiar, doesn't it, Fred? We participated in a genocide, Barney. So they did. So much power. All right, chat. All right. We're going to go ahead and end the stream for a day. And we're going to end with Pillarman chat. So lower your volume or raise your volume, whatever you prefer. And Pillarman in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ay, 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 ay.